Just to stick to our game plan and just beat them. I mean, we're not scared. They're a beatable team, and it's just that simple. Any team's beatable, and we're just gonna beat them. I
Let's.
believe we're better than them, so.
Now, I think this one is certainly a bit of a more odd question that'll be covered more in the grand finals when I start doing notes, but you picked defense or attack first for all of your maps. It's a bit of an oddity. Why?
We just feel more comfortable on attack and have more strats on attack, and we're usually better at attacking both of those maps, so I just picked it.
I mean, I respect the, I guess, uniqueness there, but I got a question. That might be a really bad move, giving a team that's so good on the roam, like 907, a chance to get ready and warmed up on the roam. I don't know. Who do you think is the biggest player to worry about right now on that whole team?
It's a team-based game. I'm not really worried about one person, but I'd probably have to say like Vux or something like that. I mean, Winda probably.
Fair enough.
Quacks, most likely. Quacks.
Who do you think is the most overrated player on both teams? So I'm gonna have to have you rat on one of your own guys.
I'm not answering my team. Hell no.
Fine. Then.
Probably Vox. Probably.
Really? The Madman on entry is the overrated one. Okay, I respect it. Then let's just go through some of the maps. What you're gonna be doing. NHL. You're gonna have there's gonna be 907 defense first, 5-0 on the map. Anything different really, or what are you gonna change the game plan? Change how you generally play, or are you just gonna run the same old and try to beat him in the defaults?
Same old. Just you gotta beat him in the most important gunfights. You just can't give up first pick, and I feel like we can win dominantly. Our attacks on NHL are really good, so I'm not really worried.
Do you think there's one player on your team that's gonna show out more, maybe, than I think what is expected?
Probably ITQC.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Or not.
ITQC is underrated as hell. He flexes around. He's a relatively good roamer. Got it all. Out of all of, roller rivals, SSL finals, I don't know what else you've been to. What is the most nerve-wracking playing?
Like, the most nervous I've ever been in a game, or like...
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's probably when I 1v1 stomping. But, like, in a 5v5 format, I don't really get nervous. I don't remember the last time I've been nervous in a 5v5.
Let's say, hypothetical with me, if you win this, let's not say dominantly, but if you win this, 3-2, nail-biter game, what's next for that team? Are you gonna stay with 6-7?
I'm gonna stay with like the 6-7 team. The team is pretty much just like getting better, like 4-man, like 4 more people on the 10th man, and just leaving sprays pretty much. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, I think it's certainly a decision that no one is surprised about. He's had his significant issues playing that high-level support, but I don't know. I think it's exciting to see, if Nock can step up into that bigger role.
Finna see me shoot and still walk up.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Dry ass start today. What do you think is your strongest point as a team? Just one singular thing.
It's hard. I feel like just not like mental chalking. No matter what we pretty don't mental chalk, and then we just carry on and win rounds.
What would you guys say is your strongest map then?
Nighthaven or Charlotte?
Those would be 2 very interesting games. Is 5-0 for 907 on Nighthaven is a very, very hard wall to climb. They've beaten every single mage team you could think of. They beat Wolves in the semis, Voltage in the quarters. Excuse me, that was y'all. Chalet, they actually don't play a bunch. They play a shit ton of roller rivals, but never in league. But Nighthaven, Armani in the semis, Dynasty in the quarters, Wolves. They haven't lost once, and most of them haven't even been close. It's crazy to think that even if you get overtime, if you don't win a map, if you just get overtime against the team, that's officially the greatest anyone else has ever done in SSL.
Shitty ass aim. Holy shit.
What do you think is 907's strongest point you guys got to worry about every time?
I feel like just their coordinate, what is it called? Just they know how to play together.
Fair enough.
And yeah, it's pretty much that's what it is, you know. They know how to play together. They have chem and they just play together. But they're beatable and just know we're gonna beat them.
Do you think we're going to see any records broken today for BL5, kill record,
Yes.
single map? Who?
Hopefully. I feel like I'm gonna drop more than I think I'm gonna drop Wenda's kill record.
27
Hopefully.
kills. That'd be... I mean, there's infinite overtime, so it's certainly possible, but that'd be a generational play, to be entirely fair. You hear about the new competitive series yet that OOG just kind of sort of announced, like yesterday?
No, I haven't.
2.6 thousand console and PC combined, sort of like ladder.
That's
It'll be fun, I think. It'll...
cool.
I don't know. We'll see,
I
but...
just woke up. I did not hear about that.
All right, so we're finally live. Sup to... I don't know how many people are watching, honestly. I'm not paying attention. But we got Scissor a little early for the pregame. Should be fine audio-wise. Gotta make that a fat question mark. I hope so. But overall... Hold on, I gotta figure out... Let me announce these games real quick, so then delayed catches up by the time they actually join will be cool. On, let me paste my Twitch. Okay, there we go. All right, I sent the basic announcement out so we can sort of start the pregame stuff, and then I'll announce Hall of Fame, I don't know, 10 minutes before we start? Yeah, 10 minutes, give or take.
I think you can cover it in 10 minutes, yeah.
5 players, only a little bit I think I'm going to do in between, because I'm not about to do a crazy yap sesh. Yeah, I couldn't get the clips working, so it's just going to be a transfer to a full screen for like half a second, not half a second, longer than that, but like transfer, then we come back to normal, and then we can talk about the player. Because they're in order, so they're in the order you sent me, for context. So, you can use that. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most of this is literally just me test running because my frigging OBS has been tweaking. So I'm trying to fix it Felix right now, which I suppose better than never. Whatever. We'll be fine. And if not, it's going to make no sense. Okay, but let's get into the basic stuff. Who do you see winning today?
Who do I see winning?
Yeah.
My philosophy is I get more surprised and I find more enjoyment if I keep my mind open. And I'm here for a really long game and I like the competition. So let's say I'll be cheering for whatever team is losing at the time.
Yeah, okay, who do you see as the underdog then? Come on, don't give me these curved answers.
We all know Redemption is the underdog. It's a very easy decision to make when you look at the stats. 907 is one of the best careers, or not careers. It's a little bit weird of a word to say. One of the best runs within a single season of my league. So we definitely know Redemption is the underdog because there's no dog that's going to be over a 907.
Certainly, I mean, I think, yeah, they're probably the strongest we've ever seen in terms of stats. That'll probably be the big thing to look forward to is, yes, this is a strong team, but technically right now they're still not really the strongest they are overall. Jeff Sicko isn't playing in this grand final, and in Champions, that will be the one to see. Is we'll see at least this version of 907, and then probably the post Jeff Sicko 907 version for what will realistically be Obey 907. That'll be a sexy Champions finals, if I do say so myself. But for this grand,
I just said okay.
yeah. For this grand finals, though, I mean, yeah, I feel like 907 is the peak of a true console team. They're the best roamers we've ever seen. I think they're the greatest at wasting away that clock. And I think that matters so much in these games like this, where I think in these larger maps that we generally have, and maps that allow this roaming and where that meta's kind of shifted towards it, it makes a team like 907 feel even more unstoppable. We've seen the numbers of the best trading team, the best entry team, the best team that feels overall without any real weakness yet. They haven't lost a map yet, not a single time in SSL. So far, they've lost one map in 4 months of League as a team in this recent T. And I think that is the big thing is Redemption. If they have any hope, they need to go strong and they need to go early. They need to see the team that feels impossible to beat. They need to make them bleed, just at least a little bit. You know what I mean?
Definitely wonder what's going on through the minds of Redemption and how they're going to handle this mentally, because they have to prepare to get a beating, and they have to understand that it's going to be hard, and most importantly that it's going to be rough. So many teams, I'm not going to say who, but many teams sort of don't think about that. So when they get hit pretty hard and they lose a couple rounds, they give up entirely. We don't want Redemption to do that, because then it'll be a very boring grand final.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll be the biggest thing is this has the potential, I think, to be a very, very good grand finals and the potential to be the worst we've had in the entirety of SSL, which is, I suppose, the outcomes for a lot of
It can't
teams.
be worse than last season.
That's to be fair, that was 619 Obey was bad. They didn't even play the full thing out. They quit midway through.
They only did 2 maps.
We also have one little guy who wanted to do more of a hard analyst position, and I checked his notes, so I don't care. Vontae wanted it. No one else wanted to be a guest. I'll let it. He has the notes. He's a nerdy kid in the numbers and stats, so he'll fit in just fine in between those map breaks. So instead of having a podcast, which I finally got a new clip. It took 1,200 years, but there is a new clip I filmed today with Charlie Worley, with Squirtle, whatever the hell you want to call him, for that day, for today, and then we'll only have that play twice, max. Hopefully we don't see a 3-0. And then post map 2 and post map 4, I'll have Vontae come in with notes, stats, and specifics over the past 2 maps. So you can go over the big picture stuff, in that 5-minute break period.
Did Vontae put these stats together, or did you forward them to him?
I gave him some of mine, and he's also has a lot of notes. So, not my notes, I think. He might. I don't know. I know he has his own.
Well, I got a question for you.
We'll see. I was hoping to get a Hall of Fame player, but yeah, no, they're too nonchalant for me nowadays.
I have a question for you. At the end of today.
Dude, you got way too quiet. Repeat the question.
Who do you think is winning MVP at the end of today?
I'll give you one guy from each team because that feels the most fair. I have Quex and then not Charlie. I have ITQC. Crazy to say. I think in terms of value.
Not the finals MVP. The
overall MVP?
Give me your estimate for a finals. I think you said AQC and Quex.
Either Charlie or Quex, honestly. Yeah, if I'm going by what I know, by the numbers that I have. Oh, Quex can't. Who's the MVP candidate for 907?
Oh, they got 2. We decided to give them 2 because they're that good. We gave it to Buida and Vux.
What has been fine, and if you like the idea of IGLs having a little bit more leeway in numbers because they're already doing everything else, and he's already a support player, so he doesn't need to put up crazy numbers. I could see Buddha having it, and then Vux. I mean, if he has a generational, and I mean generational, map 1, map 2, map 3, map 4, map 5. Like if he drops BL5 record, BL, a single map record, best entry numbers I've ever seen, maybe. But his playoff run was kind of just filled with him being an okay entry, not really the domination we saw before in regular season.
Absolutely. I do not think any records will be broken today.
You don't think a single one? I don't.
They're hard to break.
I think that we're gonna see either Quex or Charlie break the BO3 record, or no, I suppose it wouldn't be BO3 record. It'd be either single map, or is there a BO5 record even?
We don't have a BO5 record because BO5s are very rare. You could just look at the winning, the stats of winning players of the league. I don't think we have a record on BO5 because only like a very, very small percentage of players even get to be in a BO
Yeah, I
with this
mean,
league. I could do some digging. I'm just gonna assume that whoever has the record also won the league. I don't think a loser has the record.
season 1 maybe. I have to recheck. I don't know numbers and screenshots that well. That far back more accurately. Not that crazy. I'm good at this. I know my numbers, but that's season 1 of a grand final that was like, if I'm not mistaken, not really that interesting. That was
Really
what the fuck was season 1? No, that was, I'm trying to think of, I was thinking of Playmakers. They didn't do anything. They got kicked out in semis. There was also an X9 one rookie because I forgot he existed. Who is it? I know a 00 team one. I don't remember who the hell it was though. So now I'm like trying to think. It's a 26 kills you'd need to break the 26 kills. Yeah, that'd be a pretty hard record to break. BO3 obviously can't be broken. Who has trophy case? Let me see this. Don't care. Oh, it just shows the man. Unhelpful. Yeah, I thought it would be grand finals. Also unhelpful. This is gonna kill me. Holy shit! I forgot when free smoke existed. Good lord, y'all are some old people sometimes.
What are you looking for?
Ugh. It's that time ticking where I have a pregame planned. I have Vontae coming in at like 15 to talk for like 5 minutes before I do grand finals. And like Hall of Fame players. Do you have any finest players you'd like to leak?
It's gonna be the best.
Who?
What rank will he be? I don't know. Wordle.
Well, yeah. I mean, he had like a 1.7 and like a 1.4 and 3.5, 4 in playoffs. I would be more surprised if he didn't, honestly. If he didn't, I think it'd be like the greatest, not even throw, just like actual wildness if he somehow didn't make playoffs. No, not playoffs, finest.
I think record hold.
Dude, your mic is like wild. There we go. I don't know, it like goes in and out and it's killing me.
The record for a BO5 is Zemphy at 55 kills.
God. I mean, yeah, that's certainly, I think, a high bar to break. I could see it, honestly. 11 kills a map. It'd be hard, no lie,
You gotta get to all 5 maps.
Like, it would not be an easy win to break, but, like, I could see it, honestly. That wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. Who would be? It'd be... I mean, it would probably be Quex or Charlie. I think they both have consistent enough kills on trades and just in general that it could happen. Maybe Popify. I don't think Vux has the consistency. He's a good entry, but he kind of backs off after his first. Cody's all over the place, and either way, it would have to be, we'd be having to go to map 4 or map 5. We couldn't go to anything else. It'd have to be some way to get to map 5 because it's not being broken or anything less, I don't think. Like maybe map 4 you could do it, but you'd have to be generational. Like it would be like 14 average, something absurd. If we see some dude break the kill record in 4 maps, that would be something else. You see that happening? You see old records stand still.
All records are going to stand still.
Dude, your mic is like out of hell, dude. Goddamn. Okay, let's see here. 25 grand finals, and we have internet issues. Jock it. Whatever. Hey, are we alive maybe this time?
I hope I'm alive.
Yay! You have a mic now.
What was the last thing you said?
Go off of what I said. I was talking about like
breaking records.
Yeah.
This has a history of 6 seasons. Records are going to be hard to break.
I mean, I don't know. I think that we could see it. If what?
Something happened?
Ugh, mic issues. No fun, but we're back, hopefully. Permanently this
You
time.
and me both.
It does seem to be a constant today. Hey, at least it's now and not in the middle of grands. I think we have Vontae joining at like 22 minutes, and then we have right after that Popify maybe to talk about his team, because Buddha is not doing all that. I'd hate, but I've casted I think every single one of their games so far. At some point, having the pregame interview does get a little ridiculous. I don't know.
Do you always interview him?
Not Popify. It's generally Buddha, but yeah, I try to do for this. But doesn't look like we'll be getting that today. Please. We'll see. I hope for it. I'm hoping for a pregame, but I have doubts.
The winner of this game, or not a game, this series, shall receive $1,000, 500 from my account, which is a collection of all the entry fees and other dues, and then another 500 from Brian's donation / sponsorship, which I believe will actually be paid from Gulia because now she has the money.
Yes, she does handle, well, not most, a lot of the money for Odd Boys, so. Hey, she doing her thing. We love her for it. No hate over here. Gulia is a goat. Now, I need to I'm debating if I put up a poll this early, because it's still way early, but like, thoughts are there. I'm trying to think. My wiseness, because I've definitely been here that long. The wiseness is here. I'm just stroking my definitely bearded chin, even though I just shaved. Yeah, who do you... No, hold on. You see, you have no records being broken. What do you have the score prediction being? If you were to predict the score. Maps.
I don't like predictions.
Not a single prediction out of you?
I want to predict 5 maps, overtime for each one.
I have seen overtime 3 maps in a row only for 1 game, and that was Voltage Zave quarterfinals D2 champions. I remember that somehow. But like, we are never seeing all map overtime. If we do, I will say sorry, King, and we will gladly go on our way, because actually no, I wouldn't, because I'm actually gonna die in here. I'm not ever eating food, because I didn't eat before this, so we're just we're living in hell. Yeah, screw it. We'll bring in Vontae real quick. I know he has some thoughts he'd prefer to share, and he has something ready. Hey, plus we can get some threesome action because we're not getting Charlie or Buddha this time around. Probably shouldn't have interviewed them all during quarters when realistically most of them are going to make grands, and then now they don't want to because they've done it 3 different times. 2. Hey, okay. You can unmute if you're muted, I think. Maybe? Scaring me.
Okay.
Hey, okay.
I was gonna say, can you guys hear me pretty good?
Should be fine.
Yes, we can.
Give me
Okay.
some analyst predictions here. What do we got in the notes?
So when looking over Redemption and 907, it was very interesting. 907, like you said, last time they played, whenever they played Armani, they're a very slow team to start. They really are. It takes them a second to get into their groove. It takes them a second to get into their step. But when they do, they're a very dominant team. I mean, I watched over them playing Armani, and knowing a lot of the people that play on Armani, knowing their skill level and just seeing 907 sweep them the way that they did, it shows you the talent on that team. And then Redemption, like everyone's been talking about, it's a very big underdog story. They were never meant to be in grand finals. They were meant to be a team that possibly didn't even make it to playoffs. That was in conversation, and then they made it to playoffs due to some of the issues that we had. And I mean, every week it's like, okay, they're getting knocked out this week, and then they don't. And they keep going, they keep succeeding. And statistically speaking, I have my money on 907. I mean, they have a roster full of people who have been in here for a while, who have performed at a high level, who continue to perform at a high level. You know, names like Buddha, you have Quex, who Quex has single-handedly carried some games. You have Dark, who decided to pop off a little bit last week against Armani. You have Popify, who's been consistent. And then, like I said, you have Buddha. You know, Buddha's consistently been a high-ranked player. He's consistently been a talented player. And even at that support position, he's still able to hold his own. I mean, first game of Armani on Nighthaven, he almost had that 4K, right, to clutch out the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he's able to be patient and be consistent. And then on the opposite side, speaking of Redemption, you obviously have Charlie Warley. Everybody knows him in the community. You have Sprays, you have Cody. So you have a lot of players who have the ability to play at a high level. It's a talented roster. It just kind of, for Redemption's point, if they all are focused, if they can all play at their level, play at an excellent level, there's a chance. But that's what would have to happen. There can be no mistakes in their defense.
I mean, certainly, I think you have to expect what feels like the bottom line for 907 is this going to go 5 maps if they lose. It feels like it'd be anything surprising if it wasn't. I mean,
I can see that too. I mean, I can definitely see 907 starting off slow in their first map, possibly dropping a map, even 2 maybe. But it kind of depends on how much Redemption can do until 907 decides to heat up.
that is certainly the scary point of when they finally lock in. What do you have left? I think that the biggest thing that we can look towards, and I think this is a similarity for both teams, is they're both some of the best roaming teams in the league. Even before playoffs, they both knew their roam well and they were good at delaying. Who do you see, I think, using their roam better and maybe countering the opposite roam?
I think whenever I watch Redemption play, it kind of boiled down to, instead of their roams, they relied heavier on really aggressive extensions. You know, you saw on Cafe, everyone likes to play either VIP or they play a very aggressive bake hold. They were very aggressive with it, bringing the Jaeger, bringing the smoke, delaying as much time as possible. They were able to call their flips when necessary. And then on the flip side of it, you have 907, who is very extensive with their roam. I mean, like I said, when they were playing labs, they'd have basement and they'd have one person sitting site. They'd have 2 people first floor, 1 kid in kitchen, 1 kid in, games. They'd have 2 people upstairs wasting time. And if Redemption can't hold those cuts to force those players on their aggressive roams to either lose a life or take a gunfight, Redemption will not be able to win this game from an attacking standpoint.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, I think you don't necessarily think of 907 as a great attacking team, but by numbers, they're one of the best in terms of win rate. We've kind of seen that time from time. And I think a more interesting stat is that they also have, arguably, by quite a large margin, is one of the best teams on trading. They're not the strongest entry, and they're not even really top 5, especially since Vux has kind of fallen off to a more, I guess, passive role in playoffs. But we've seen so much good trades and refrags come from that side of 907. I think that chemistry, that base just level of understanding each other is going to be their big difference.
Yeah, I fully agree on that one. I mean, like you just said, 907 does have a really good trade factor. That's probably their best thing. That's the smartest thing. A lot of teams we see in competitive struggle with trading out. They struggle with that soul aspect. 907 doesn't have that. They can take their angles, they can take their gunfights, and worst case scenario, they have somebody in a position to get that immediate refrag so that even with a life lost, it's not completely out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, they are one of the best teams at finding those refrags by the numbers, so that does fit. Even when they do go down one on the entry, they can generally claw back. I think, yeah, if you have them in that 4 to 4v5, even 3v5 at times, depending on the map, they're still a team that you have to worry about entirely. I think they're one of the very few teams where if you have that one person advantage, it never really feels like an advantage because they can get that back so fast compared to most teams, and I think that's a big difference, as you were saying.
I fully agree with that. I mean, like I said when we were just talking about the rosters just now, I mean, everyone on that team can hold their own. Every single player on that team on 907 can hold their own. And then seeing them, like I said, when they get hot, when they're all playing in unison, that's when it gets scary. Instead of worrying about Widow or Quex or Popify or Dark single-handedly popping off for a few rounds, you have all of them at their best, and that is terrifying.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that the big issue is we're seeing them dominate, and they haven't even had their full roster yet. Jeff Sicko hasn't played in SSL. And I think the big thing is that we see that sometimes, yes, Vux, like we've sort of seen, can fall off at times in aggression. He's not always the super go-getter entry. And then you bring in Jeff Sicko, and then your only main problem, which is maybe not being aggressive at times, is entirely solved. And I think the big thing is if you can't beat this roster, if this roster right here, the weaker version of them, wins here, what does that mean for the roster that has arguably one of the greatest League players to ever do it?
I mean, honestly, but it also boils down to, like I said, it's Redemption. Redemption is their name speaks volumes. They're a team that came in here. A lot of people weren't expecting things. It's not like they were expected to be a bottom of the barrel team, but they weren't expected to get this far. So if Redemption can live up to their name, basically, it'd be a lot for them. And then, like you said, with 907 not even having Jeff Sicko, the entirety of playoffs, it would be a big thing for them. I mean, if they win this next season, it's going to be terrifying for everybody.
I mean, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's it feels that is the big thing. And that's the big question is, yeah, what do you do if you can't beat them here? Like as a team trying to go into a game, this is arguably, I think, a team more dominant than Prime Obey. A team that they haven't even lost a map. Obey would at least lose maps occasionally. It feels that we're not even seeing that. They never really lost. Whenever they got to a 7-5 or a 7-6, they didn't even get to a 7-6, excuse me. They never even had an overtime so far in SSL. And when they got 7-5, they'd win 4 rounds in a row. They'd win out their last round. It feels like you can never truly beat this team.
I mean, yeah, it just comes down to that when they get hot, they are never a team to count out. When you think they are down, they will still somehow come out swinging, and it'll look like they were swinging harder than before.
I mean, absolutely, yeah. It's it's a scary, scary thought. If you are Redemption, you gotta, I think, stay so mentally ready and so mentally stable because you don't have any room for error. You can't afford to lose a pick. You can't afford to, let it go down to a 4v5 because they'll gladly take it and they'll play down the clock better than most. And I think that's the issue is a team like Redemption is great at, getting those gaps, making those plays whenever there's a gap for them. When there's an error, they're great with them and they exploit them all the time. 907 so rarely has gaps, it just feels very worrying if you are obviously a Redemption fan.
I think, like we were talking about earlier with the players to watch out for, we were talking about it earlier, you have Quex. I know Quex was able to take over a few games. I mean, I think I brought it up just in our own personal conversation, seeing him pop up on TikTok with him dropping, you know, I think he had a 2.0 KD recently on Cafe, or close to. And then you have Popify, who's been able to consistently play at a high level. You have Buddha, who Buddha as a support is terrifying. You expect supports to be people who will sit in sight, and a lot of them are shotgun crutches. Let's be honest. You have your SASs, you have your shield crutches. That's the general idea of supports. And then you have Buddha, who can still do his job. He can still hold his own. He is not someone to count out anytime. You leave him in a 1v3 or 1v4, he can still do what needs to be done to win that round out.
I mean, yeah, I think that's it. Just makes it scary, and I think the big things to see is for when we head into that map one early on NHL. This is easily, I think, the side of 907. This is their best map. 5-0 on it. They beat Armani in the semis. They beat Dynasty in the quarters. They beat Wolves. This is one of the maps where we have the most proven. Where even against top teams, you will see them in roller rivals. They'll beat teams like Iowa's team. They'll beat Richie. They'll beat, not obviously Stomper anymore, but they'll beat everyone that there really is to beat on a map like this. And that's, I think, what's so important is you need to find that early momentum. But that map one is really not what you want to see.
I think just in banned states, I know they get automatic first pick just for winning out, but as Redemption, this would be the one map I'd be studying. I would be in there with my players day in, day out, studying everything that they do. That is the only way they could win this, possibly.
Yeah. Now, we do have a little bit of time to spare in just a couple minutes. So, let's get to those Hall of Fame players. 5 numbers, 5 people, all relatively strong. No guesses quite yet. We'll wait till, we'll say 8 minutes before, 8 minutes before we reveal the first one. Okay, let's see here. I need an Ubi for Redemption, and then we are... Because otherwise, I don't know. It feels... Everything's looming towards what could be an amazing underdog run or another 619 versus Zobe.
Yeah. Yes.
Now we can at least get to our first member, the first Hall of Fame. Probably one of the strongest to ever do it. Known on the Obey brothers. And as you just saw, Adexi finally gets his Hall of Fame. It's been a little bit of a long running for him, but he got there. He looks strong and finally gets himself that oh so necessary, I think, Hall of Fame. He was looking forward to that. I think the big thing is you got your one guy, you got what you were excited for. You got the big thing. Now we have 4 more players, all relatively strong. Just kind of waiting for that ad low-key. Who do you have as a prediction for the Hall of Fame before I release second? Any predictions?
Not off mine. I mean, a lot of the players that I would immediately come to mind are already in the Hall of Fame. That's why 907 was so terrifying, just to see. I mean, half of their roster is in the Hall of Fame actively. So.
I mean, yeah, I'd get that. And second players from Alchemist, him on that team. Him as someone that always helps with your rosters. DCAG. No, I think
that's the name I've been waiting on. DCAG as somebody who just deserved it, rightfully so.
I think a long time in the running, and he finally did get there. We still have... I think this one's going to be a bit of a surprise, as people do associate him with, I think, a very weak team this season, but overall, he's shown a lot of promise as a player. You know him, you love him, and I do mispronounce his name, Uzi. OXZIA, by the way, I can't ever say that right.
You're good.
Actually,
Yeah, I'm saying Uzi, and he doesn't care. He hasn't hated on it for me yet, so it's staying that. Shh. He doesn't need to know. He does know, actually. He knows because he was shit talking, and he doesn't really care. Now, 2 more. Both of them 5.2 players. One of them is the Unk of the Century. You know him for loving femboys. You know him for being a very hard support. Stretch. And last little one with just a little bit of time to go. I think arguably one of the top 10 players this season. I think a very good reason that 5.2 stayed dominant, stayed well in the running, even, in their weak points. Tom the Bomber. And that'll be all 5 main Hall of Fame appointees, or, inductees more accurately. Adexi, DKAG, Ozzy, Stretch, and Tom, all of which I think have proven that they deserve to be at that level. They've proven that they can hang, and it feels like it's high time that some of them finally got in there. Overall, map 1, let's hear some score predictions. Scissor feels the need to not give one because he's being weird, but what do you have it going to? Fonte. Hey, I'm getting ghosted when I'm on a co-host. Chalk it.
Sorry, I had a little mic issue for a second. I think my mic probably sounds a bit worse.
Well,
my USB mic decided to stop working for a second.
That happens sometimes,
But
to be fair.
with 907 starting off on defense, I feel like if they can go 4-2 into the split, they can finish the game out. Worst I see it going is 7-5. I think they can
7-5?
easily do 7-2, 7-3, but it just kind of depends on that defensive split. What momentum are they bringing into their attacking half?
Yeah, I think that's the big thing is, a lot of times it doesn't feel that way, when you're in the audience and when you're watching and even casting, but I think it matters so much as a team, that momentum that you bring in from round to round, the mental that you have, and we have seen the Redemption have been able to come back, they've been able to play when they're down, but a team like 907 already feels like you're starting at a negative. I think there's so little you can afford to lose, and I think this map is going to be a bit of a highlight for why 907 is up here. They're at the top. They're one of the strongest to ever do it. Now, can I get some people to join my game? That'd be a beautiful thing. Because, I enjoy it on my time. And preferably soon, because, we do have a game.
Yeah, game starts in 6 minutes.
Yeah, I have a timer going in the...
Should be in your lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think what is really underrated for 907, and the reason I just made the statement I made is especially for that first map of any playoff game, the momentum you have in the first split of the first map can carry through damn near the entire playoffs. The entire 5 maps.
Yeah, I think that early statement that you want to have, that you show we're still here, we're still hanging at this level, and you want that. You want that so badly for Redemption. If you can just have even a 3-3 split for them, I think that's such a huge thing. We're hanging here, we're able to play with the best, and we can do it. I think that'd be the best thing, is if they can genuinely show that this is an even game. This isn't over yet.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you put it into a 3-3 split, you kind of make them start questioning a few of their decisions. At the end of the day, it's a mind game. Siege is a high IQ game. It's what you need to play it at a high level. And once you start messing with the mindset of the players on that opposing team, you can realistically win out just off that alone.
Yeah, I think that the issue is you need it, I think, much more for Redemption, but a team like 907, I think, doesn't need that, same advantage mentally. They played down in roller rivals. They played down with, a much higher audience, much more on the line. I don't know.
I think it is more of Redemption's necessity. Like you said, 907 plays these tournaments. They play Roller Saturday, Sunday. They play against the best of the best consistently. So they have that mindset kept. They know that nothing is out of the way. Nothing is lost until it is officially over.
Yeah.
Redemption's a little different.
Dang. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is you're looking to hopefully just, I think the sky's the limit for Redemption, in that even though we do see that this team will change names and sprays will be lost, It's not the biggest deal. Sprayzna is not even starting on the starting 5 anymore. They have Noct replacing him as the hard support. I mean, I think that's the big thing is, I think 907, in my opinion, if they don't either lose very, very closely or they win dominantly, it looks so bad. Because this team, I feel like, even in the preseason, was kind of heralded to be what feels like the end all be all. You had the preseason, you had Obey because they were just coming off of a great season. They were coming off of a lot of dominant times. You had them. You had what I'd argue was probably 5.2, even though they never went in playoffs. And then you had what I think was 907. You know, a very strong team. They went far in playoffs early D1 last season, maybe under the different name of Yuck, but still the same general 5. And I think that we've seen them gel so much better now. It's crazy.
Yeah, seeing the way that they performed over the season has been it's been nice to watch, to say the least.
Yeah.
I mean, there are certain games where I'm almost bored to say because of how dominant 907 is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the big thing is, yeah, if they go into next season, even if, let's say, they lose this, if they lose Champions and they lose, SSL here, I think they're still a top team no matter what. They could lose everything and it would still wouldn't matter. Because on like 5.2, sorry, you go.
Go ahead, sorry.
I mean, I think that it matters because they're still a top team. We've still seen so much from them, and unlike 5.2, kind of struggles in the quarterfinals, semifinals. They dominated their way to that finals. So if they lose to a grand final team twice, oh well. I think there's still a lot more in store for them.
Yeah, what I was going to say was 907 is always one of those teams to watch. I mean, I know coming into the season, like watching all the teams, watching the shifts, watching a few of the season trades and the way that certain teams were moving around, it almost seems like they have a sense of, I don't want to sound young when I say this, but they have a sense of aura. Playing a game against them, there's already a level of fear because of how dominant of a team they are.
Yeah, I mean,
And if Redemption can get over that initial fear and recognize at the end of the day, it's another player, it's another high-level player just like them, that mental key is going to be what unlocks the rest of the game.
certainly, and I think that, yeah, this is a very big mental game, and I think that's sort of the thing you have to see is you have to see them overcome, that hump, that scariness that you can beat this team, you can hang here. If they can come into that and at least show that they're still there, that's such a high thing to see. That's such a great thing to see, in my opinion. But we do have at least.
That's kind of.
So say what you're gonna say, Mabi.
My mic just keeps changing. I want this to go at 5. That's what I really want.
We can all hope, but it's a high bar, I think, having a map 5 and hoping for that. There's so much that has to happen in between. And I think that it's all going to come down to these early maps. But, I think there's still some hope. I think still everything in the world that could happen. And I'm open to some possibilities of some fun differences. Oh. My transitions are tweaking right now. Which is more concerning because I don't know why. Noct, the rest are starting to join. Redemption are getting their men in, and just waiting for Blita to finally respond to the OOG invite because we're too nonchalant to do it on time. Ah, shit. Yeah. Or maybe not. Mine just says I cannot respond to the action. That's great. Oh. That's convenient. Send it. Hold on, you know what? Let me put up a poll real quick. I forgot you're not a mod, and I don't think Ghoulia is here, so I gotta put up the polls. Start prediction. Who is winning map 1 of probably the most anticipated game we've had in a long time? 907.
Alright, I was gonna say I'm going to let you have your fun. I will be watching on the sidelines, writing my notes for after map 2. See what the mindset is after that.
I'm excited until then, and we'll see you in just a little bit. See ya. Come on. Grand finals time. Excitement is in the air. Buddha's still not joining because he's too nonchalant for my ass. Someone got to save me, bro. Apparently I'm too nonchalant for these kids. Like, I'm a caster. Please just, I promise, you're not going to die. Just join the game like a minute early for my safety. And sanity. I need an invite. I'm kidding. It's not that big of a deal. Once I get everyone out, I can finally do a map intro. And I'm hot miking, but I don't really care because y'all gonna hear it. Y'all gonna hear me. No, you won't, but should be, I think, the greatest, the most hyped map we've seen in a long time. You finally have your two top teams from SSL, the one meant to win it all, and I think a bit of an underdog, but that doesn't mean Redemption can't do anything fun here. They can't put together a beautiful run. Maybe complete what Wildboy 619 couldn't, which is not get Belt to ass in the finals. You know, maybe we see a map 5, a sexy infinite overtime or two. That would be nice. I'd be a happy man if we get to see that. Well, issues aside, and apparently Buddha still being too nonchalant for me because these kids these days. Always in party, never mind, we're chill. Right? Get a little bit in there so we can not die and I'm not going to lose it. While we're doing that, I'm low-key going to pull up Spotify because... Really? Oh. That was bad. I have to listen to a Chick-fil-A ad. Would have lost it. I'm not going to cap. Get on, first ad. Get off, ad. Exit ad. Would be crazy shit. What are the predictions? I'm actually kind of excited for once. One prediction, Uno predictions. I feel sad now. I'm not even the one doing it. What is going on with Buddha right now? This cat. Yeah, I know. I'd love for you to join, Buddha, but on normal time, please. Swear I'm gonna watch this kid and he's not gonna be there. He's just gonna be waiting for it. We're gonna be like 20 minutes in. We're all just gonna be waiting here and the time's gonna run out on the server. Hey, one man in. And at this point, I will finally go to our intro for map 1, Nighthaven Labs, first one of Grand Finals. Well, we're back with just a little bit of time in between as we're waiting for the last two to get in, and I'm excited. I think everyone's a little excited at some point. Even if you're a Champions fan, even if you're not necessarily a big SSL fan, you get yourself a Grand Finals, a sexy BO5. Everyone's in here. You're going to have arguably the strongest team in a long time. Oh, yeah, because you lost all your points, Binks. I forgot about that. Hey, listen, we respect the poorness here. The poverty is real sometimes. Just, damn, no gambling for you, I guess. No over-under odds. They gotta make it so I can have an over-under and have like 4 different polls. I want to have like an over-under for like Vux, like 2-0 on entry over-under. Make it happen, Twitch. I want some gambling in here. Come on now. It's no fun if it isn't gambling. And we got all in. We got everything ready. Run it. Oh, good times. Times of hope. Times of what should be, I think, a lot of hope if you are a team like 907. Because you have everything going right. Everything is right here, right now, that you could pull it all out and truly dominate. And not to a small level, to a level where we're all like, what's next? What the fuck did you leave for? Gang, what? Am I going to go to a tech pause? Yes, I probably am because I don't know what the hell's going on. This is a special little recording for Grand Finals. We have... Oh, I suppose you want to introduce yourself?
The big squirt.
All right, dude. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think that this is certainly the best time to do one is not even in, what, 6 hours? We're going to have ourselves a full BO5. Against
It's gonna
probably
be a
the strongest
BO3
team.
because we're gonna 3-0 sweep them. It doesn't matter.
You think you're going to 3-0 sweep?
Yep.
Okay, let's go through some of the basics. The team that is... Yeah, I'm not waiting. I was going to wait for this thing to be ready and for, you know, everyone to get back in from... I don't know why, actually. Why we didn't. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not waiting all that. I got better things to do. And either my Discord is screwed up, or we all left and I'm not getting a reason, which might be a little bit more aggravating to be entirely fair. Fuck me, dude. Can we not just, like, be at our normal spot at a normal time? We gotta be this. Whatever. Takes like 30 seconds to make a new custom, but it is gonna make me aggravated, because that is real. I've had to deal with this, and I'm going to do D2 finals and then go marathon the entirety of the drafts and a single roll of rivals. I am on a short fuse in the next week. I'm going to be casting like 20 hours in like 2 days. Three days. That already sounds kind of miserable, honestly, but either way, my patience is low, and we're still on, and you decided to join Spectate for whatever fucking reason, because we can't just normally, you know, just be in there like a normal friggin' person. Ugh. And that team is wrong, actually, I just realized. And we're on the wrong side. Vux, you want to... Okay. Yo, what? Vux, Dark, so we're just gonna... Alright, dude, this is... I have voice shut off for like 30 seconds, and then Vux is gonna AFK on the wrong side. How about this? Vux, genius, please join the other side. I love you, but like, wrong side. Because we can't not touch buttons. Are you kidding me? Whatever. Okay. Round 2. This time, let's not have tactical on fucking Spectate. Please. Please. All my hands and knees. I'm groveling at this point. Groveling for the game. All I need is just one little hope that we don't have to sit here and wait 45 minutes for us all to get ready. Let's see here. Hey, everyone, we're all ready in, because you don't get a second chance. If you don't, I'm going to kill you all. And now we're good. Now, let's see what happens. Bans, I have the potential bans here being one roamer, a Caden, a bandit, are very possible ones. That would be the most highest and likely bans, but you could always see a little bit of difference in them, I think. I think just how these teams roll, though, is they generally like to get rid of them. But I'm open to some fun. What? Why are we leaving? Why are we leaving? Why is the point of leaving? I'm gonna lose it. If we have another leave, I'm gonna tweak and we're not even a game in. Like, what is the possible reason for leaving? He wasn't even on Spectate this time. Well, gonna let it sit here, I guess, because we have shitty internet. But I'm not going on another tech break. I enjoy my life and sanity. So instead, we'll talk about the teams, players, and all the fun times in between. 907 certainly have what I think should be a very strong roam game here is the plan. They do have Clash on the board, which is one of their best ops. So you should expect, I think, quite a bit of value from that as a team. That's the biggest thing to look forward to is you know, what can we see with a little bit of clash in there? A little bit of annoying shield play, if you will. Except they have to take it off as Dark doesn't feel so, and I think not a bad thing here. I think that they can play with the shield, they can play without, they can play all in between, but stay... What?
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
I don't know what is going on today. Is servers... I set this to Central. This was set to Central. Because I live in the middle of the Midwest. I don't have anything... I don't have another server I could even connect to. I don't know, man. I pray that the data server is correct. 50 ping sounds about right, but like... I'm gonna lose it if this is the wrong one again. Anyways, back to the bans. Azami and Mira feel very standard. Same with the double shields. You want to get rid of the shields, honestly. It's just such an annoying thing to deal with. Not a big surprise. You also do get to see Squirtle on that Ashe, as he is one of the most common Ashe players in the entirety of League by himself. Abolish? Don't say that. Please. What times? X9. Get out of here, gang. You have a team to... I mean, I guess you're cheerleading here. Okay, so X9's here for his pity ring, because one of the Wade brothers got to win for once. This is like the equivalent of giving, like, hold on, put me on 907 as like the 10th player so I can get a pity ring. Trust. Logic here, smarts. I am not the one on Xbox. Oh, it's L3. Is that me? But a bit of an odd start, as I think the ace wall is finally getting open. Nock does have his basics that he wanted, but it's a question of what do you do from here? All right. I will not shut out. You will get your pity ring, probably. We'll see. Now you do get to see Cody on one of his more underrated ops. You don't think about it too much because it's not really that crazy, like, you know, think about it, but he's a great Deimos player. He's, I think, top 10, which isn't saying much because there's not a lot of great Deimos players on console, but always good when you have someone like that can really play that. You at least have the cams and the comms. Maybe you're going to try to find something if you're ITQC. I think a player that's heralded to do a lot more in this game, where he can always show more. We've always seen that higher level from him. But, you know, it's inconsistency can riddle him, where we see so much and all it feels like it's potential, but you never know. A chance to find that first pick here would be a huge thing to have, but instead you're going to see damage on a tactical. He goes down. Now you're going to have to waste time to get the res here, and you're already going to see Popify gladly take his damage and just sit in electrical, as he has all the comfortability in the world now. X9, I'm sorry I angered you about your pity ring. Don't worry. You maybe won't watch it one time, but at least the first one's found by Popify as he finds tactical. Well, it took a little bit longer than he expected, but Dark finds another. The role player coming into a bit of a role here, and you already have that two-player advantage you really hope for. You need these early rounds, but there's so much you have to do, and Vux finds another, taking out Squirtle, the main entries fight. Now here, if you're knocked, you're in a hard support role, but you have everything you need to do in an entry play, and it's not going to be enough as you're down to one man alive, and you have an ITQC with a shotgun, but that doesn't give you a lot to work with here, as a res is going to feel near impossible with how much pressure going to be put towards you. All this has to be a perfection play here. This could be a huge start for Redemption here, but they have to play perfection. They have no space for failure, because if you lose one pick like that, it's going to make it so much harder, as ITQC is left in such a hard position. Everything closes in as he's low as already, and everything's just going to come towards him. You can find one with the shotgun, but it won't matter because Dark's going to be right there, out there to trade, and 907 with the first. Trapping is crazy. We don't support no trapping here. Neither kind of the trapping of the word. Also, this is sponsored by Champions League. I just couldn't get the freaking image to stand right, so it should be in the top left, but it is in the top left, so just assume this is sponsored by Champions League. Trust. Whatever. It should pop up in chat occasionally. I don't know. I think that you have to be... I get the idea of being cautious, but I think that you have to play such a close mental game. Because 907, I think that even if they go down, they're not going to feel scared. If they go down 4-0 maybe, but like... There's so much mental already there for 907 in terms of what they're used to. They play against the Iowas. They play against the best players in the world. I don't think they're going to feel scared in a game like this. But I think that's what worries some teams and some players even more maybe is you're fighting a team that already doesn't feel scared. They feel no, if anything, they feel already hyped up. They could be 0-0 and they're still going to feel hyped up. I think it's a big difference is you have so much you have to just break through if you are Redemption here in terms of mental. You're going against a team that feels strong. They look strong. They haven't even had a moment where they've gotten overtime yet. And everything feels like it has to be perfect. Everything has to fall into place just for a map, and you have to do it 3 different times. I think if you can get a 3-3 half here, everything can go your way. It gives you so much space. You have everything right there for you. It might take some time to get there, but it's all there. That's what you want to see. You want to see a map, you know, 3, hopefully, you know, more than just that. You want to see a map 5. You want to see a long game where we can see Redemption sort of claw it back. And that's the big issue is generally we see 907 get better over time. You're going to have to kind of break that record. You're going to have to just show that they do have some weakness in them. They're not the invincible team that we think they are. This is, in terms of 907, this is one of the best maps on the roam, especially when you get to a basement like this. But Popify finds the first in ITQC, getting a pretty important player here, losing your roam clear. Now you can see someone like Vux, someone like Dark. All of these players that maybe were thinking about roaming, roam so much harder now. All of it's in their way. Popify with another on a Cody and a bit of a freebie, but he has 2 and all the space. All of the hope he'd really have in terms of a good roam is all going his way. Squirtle needs to pull back and just try to put some bandages on a really bloody wound right now. There's not much he can do right yet, but 1 would be the start, but it might not be enough as he at least finds 1. Make sure those numbers stay close, but Quex bringing them right back to that 2-player advantage, trying to stave away. And with Squirtle and trading out, this makes a pretty hard situation for someone like Tactical, where we've seen these crazy plays from him, but never against a team like 907. We've never seen a team like 907 lose those 3v1s. They keep their numbers better than most, and you're going to have to play perfect. And that's the big question is, can you beat a team like this in a 3v1? They're not going to give you picks. They're not going to isolate fights. You have to play perfect, even with all their numbers and odds stacked against you. And you can't even find the first. It's Vux with his SMD-12. 907 find 2 in a row, and once again, I think the roam we can see at times from 907 is coming through in Nighthaven. They feel stronger than ever early on. That is what you got to worry about. Also in between, because I know some of you didn't see it, the Hall of Fame members that did in fact get inducted this time round is a Dexy, DKeg, Ozzy, or Uzi. I don't care. I don't think he cares either. Stretch, and Tom the Bomb. I think few of the players that you already think of. Some people, I'm pretty sure some people thought DKeg was already in the Hall of Fame to be entirely fair, but better late than never, I say, is I think now the crazy thing is, let's say, you know, someone wants to get in the Hall of Fame. They're going through a good career and they hope to get it. Next season, you have to worry about 95% of the hard players doing it. It is going to be so hard to go into the Hall of Fame long term now. I think the big thing is this feels like a bit of a middle class where Stretch finally got in. You know, it feels like you can, if you're like into NFL, Matt Ryan could get into the NFL in this Hall of Fame. Just a little in between, but most can't. And I think that's a big difference is we'll just see though. We'll see. Early on, though, I think Popify is sort of showing why they're just that constant threat. 1-0 on the entry, getting those kills, getting everything he ever needs, and I think the big thing is they're just straight trade percentage where they just trade bodies, not even, they both just at the same time. They're going to be highest in the league if you're 907. They make sure that even if you get a body, it won't matter. You're not finding the advantage. Not against us. This is... You're going against a team that feels like they're invincible. And, you know, you got to make them bleed. You got to show at least a 4-2 half here, I think, for just any hope. You want to hope for a 3-3 to find that true, I think, middle balance and show that you guys are on equal footing. But this isn't the start you wanted, and I don't think it's the start you need, is you really need to find something special here. You need to have everyone step up. It can't just be one-man show. That's the big issue, is we got to see a big upset in terms of performance. Redemption just got to lock in. They got to show it out now, because if they don't, they're going home without any money. And that's certainly a hard truth, is a lot of these players looking for their first finals win. I think that 907, in my opinion, it feels like a team that is impossible to beat. They feel like 2020 Chiefs. A team that had literally everything go perfect. You have your genuinely amazing role players, but you're going to find 2 early on as Cody runs his way in with Ram, and he finds the gap, exploits it, and you have 2 players down very early as that roam is almost already taken care of. And finally, Redemption show some maybe cracks in the impeccable game we've seen from 907 so far. maybe some failure in the rounds, maybe some ways to get through and maybe get some numbers you do so desperately need. The aggression here is going to be what's going to find you. Cody apparently is the madman dealing with the roam, as who needs anyone else when it's all one man? And yes, Ozzy, you are in the Hall of Fame. Banners were done way earlier. But at least Quacks finds one in a 4v1, as now he will have his chance to prove as why he is one of the greatest to ever do it. But it's also going to have to be a very, very hard situation to be entirely fair. A 4v1 isn't looking too pretty, and unless we see a lot of given picks, I don't think it's likely. But if you can find something here in ITQC, maybe something can happen. But you can't do anything as ITQC finds the final, and after huge plays from Cody, you have your first, and Redemption show some blood in the water, maybe. Maybe they finally sense the weakness in a team that feels unbeatable. Those gap plays, though, that's what Redemption is known for. And I think the big issue, and if you paid attention to the pregame, which many of you did not, because let's be honest, it's pregame. But the big thing we talked about with Vontae and Scissor is the gap plays. Redemption relies on gap plays, but a team like 907 feels like they give those up so little. It feels like there's so little times you genuinely have a gap you can exploit. But you find one if you're Cody, a bit of a rarity, but that's a good start. You get those numbers. You also get the Cade and the Ace Band away. A little bit less hard breach, but you still have your Thermite, you still have your Hibana tricking. Cade, I think, is a bigger issue, though, is if you go to that basement, your hatches are no longer safe. You didn't ban the Hibana, so hatches are going to be free reign. That is the big issue. But this can also be counteracted by 907 is probably going to do a hard SSG roam on that second floor, possibly even all roam on all floors for that basement. But we do see them go at that second floor after their first loss, and I think this can very much be a make or break round, as if you can stop anything major now, have at least a good round here, good on you. That's the biggest thing you want, though, is you want to have a good round here, say, it was just a fluke, we still got this, we still have this great half, because if you get that, you know, that 3-1, done. You have the minimum you needed, there is no longer a chance you're going to come into that next half disadvantage. But Redemption need that. They need the 4-2 half. They need to think at least one more round here to say, we can hang. We have something here. This isn't just a 619 obey level game. We have a chance to genuinely take it to that map 5, map 4 maybe. That is what you want to see. If you're a Redemption fan, you pray for these longer maps. You pray for these rounds where, yes, maybe it's not the most solid win, but it's something. And that's what you want here. Just a little scrap of something to grasp onto. Some hope for your team is... I think hope is something... As much as I love stats, you can't really calculate hope. You can never calculate that true, like, mentality of a team sometimes. But I think a team like Redemption could certainly, you know, sort of break the stats where, yes, they only have an 8.5% chance to win, at least in my stats. They don't have large odds. Nothing looks like they should be able to win this. But miracles happen. We've seen, you know, some crazy things pull out, and this could be a crazy way to do it. Early on, though, I think you got to see Cafeteria really be that main spot you're going for. You're seeing Squirtle trying to close in, get rid of any roamers, try to squeeze them all back upstairs, but what is one hell of a player you have to find is even, you know, 0-2 right now. His weaker start right now. It feels like he can still be so strong as apparently it doesn't matter. Squirtle finds the first. He gets his entry that he desperately needs. It's a little bit of a slow start for the man, but I think there's a lot of time here for him to make something fun happen. I think he certainly needs to for this team to keep winning and go to, you know, at least a map 4. God damn. I just see follows. Thank you for the follows, I do respect it. But I think a little bit of an in-between is we see everyone just waiting for their moment, waiting for the Goyos to go out, everyone to get in a position, the Grims, everything's going to be ready for this one moment where all of it's going to collapse. And it's a very specific moment, I think, is the issue, is you got to know the moment perfectly. Because there's not a lot of general space. The mist onto the DP shield is a big thing, is it still stays up, and I think that is a bigger issue that will come more long-term, but you don't want to lose that, and I think a bit of an odd C4 throw, maybe a bit of a misinput. You did get it anyways, and I think in this game, these small mistakes like that are going to matter. You lose your C4 and a misinput. You see everything, you know, even if it seems minuscule, can matter so much as the aggression, maybe the gap play, everyone is getting in and ready, but Dark has a chance to find a lot of bodies here. You see damage knocked with one at least. Quack's now very, very low as he's in a position that he kind of has to make a play here, try to get the numbers back and, you know, within reason here. All the pressure looming towards them is there's not a lot of spots to move. Everything's starting to start to be cut down. Those Grims can start coming in. I think a very scary situation is Noct finds another, and suddenly it's a 5v2. All the numbers are going not your way, and you have to see perfection from Popifies, but it doesn't matter. It's a 1v4. We have seen miracles, but this feels unwinnable as ITQC finishes, and finally Redemption. They show that they have this. They show that this is not going to be an easy game for 907. They show that there is still a lot they got to do. 2-2. And now you have the fun times. You have the hopes, the dreams of players. It's all going to come towards that. You know, it's all going to come towards how well can you mentally handle each other. I think that what you got to worry about, especially long term, is how can we see someone like Popfine and Quex come into that play? We've seen a relatively good start from them so far, and they've kind of been the main leaders of sort of the team at 907 right now. They're arguably the best duo as flexes. They're so great at making plays together and, you know, combining each other and using that flexibility to move to a soft support, to move to an enter and Vux goes down. They have that versatility that most teams do not. That is what you're going to see is the big difference in 907. The versatility that they have from their flexes is unmatched. Vux, yes, he's been a little bit struggling so far in playoffs, but you have the greatest flex duo, in my opinion, and the greatest flexes in the entirety of the league. 1-2, done. Both of them on your team. You cannot ask for better two players to be your flex players. That's such a good thing to have. I think at least, though, what you want to look for is 907. They're the best team at two-man roaming on Nighthaven. In SSG roams and in these roams where they sort of have two players off in extensions and then they fall back, you know, maybe a minute 30 left, that is what they're best at. They're great at holding space and really demanding attention because you can't afford to, you know, not have anyone look at them. That's what we want to see. But we haven't seen the same roam. We haven't seen the same aggression or even, I think, the same presence on the roam where the team, I think that Redemption isn't worried. They went into this game. I was talking to Squirtle just today in a podcast episode for finals. He knows that he has to see this team as an equal, not as something that's a disadvantage. That's got to be the big difference. They cannot afford to look at this team like they're stronger. They got to see them on an equal level. They got to see that these teams were neck and neck and that there is no real difference. This is a nail biter. And Squirtle has all the ego in the world to do it, all the confidence to say, I can drop 25 on this team. I can genuinely be the changing factor. That's what you want to have from your entry. But a bit of a slow start as you are getting at least the roam sort of starting to get cubed up and known where they are. However, a lot of lurks I think could happen in between as Vux has a position where he could maybe make something. I don't have a... I need to get an exclamation point Discord. I'll eventually make one. I'll send something eventually, but Cody at least finds the first one there. And you're going to see aggression from Popflies. He knows he's trying to find something, but he's in a position where he can't really move back or go forward. He has a lot of pressure coming towards him in different angles, as now a lot of it's being cubed in. ITQC has sort of stopped any real type of roam. This is where it starts to get iffy, is you have your roamers gone, everyone is back in the sight, and now you got to make a move with not a lot to work with. You still have one player Rafters here that could very well be the changing factor. Buddha is obviously that level. Tactical finds quite a bit of damage taken onto him from Buddha. Always going to be the big issue, though, is can you keep that up? I think Quex finally finds that first, you know, big one. I think that a lot of his kills haven't been as impactful, but something like this can matter so much. Finding those numbers back to even to what you need so desperately. As Squirtle's going to make his way up Rafters. He's going to be the player to probably try to contact up Witta here. That's a big player to lose if you can find it, but he'll be pushed back by the Grims instead as Noct has kind of taken a much bigger role than expected, but Squirtle and these trades cannot stop coming as everyone feels that they're so close in terms of skill, but it doesn't matter as you see Popify go for a spawn feed. The madman on it all is who needs different players when you have one man, but he goes for another one. He tries to find something, but the damage isn't there. The miss is gone, and now the cutoff could happen, but Quex finds it 2v1. Tactical with all the weight on his shoulders to find themselves the even half. But it might not even matter as Quex in a perfect position to deal with that Fenrir. The second that entry came in, it wouldn't matter. You got the good start you wanted. Oh yeah, I suppose I should probably do a copy. I will send the Discord occasionally because I kind of forgot to, low-key. My bad. But the start you wanted for Redemption, I think this means that 907 have that. They have that chance. However, Spade Dude, mention, boom, Discord link. That's to this server. There's quite a few others. DM me.
Attackers need to locate
Cards something. I don't remember my own username nowadays. I'll make sure to at least think about it and make sure and keep it up to date. I was supposed to have a champion sponsor, but I couldn't get it set up in time, so that'll be for tomorrow's grand finals of D2, which should be at least a bit of a banger, as we do have raid bullies. I think a player that people overrate sometimes, but he's still a very great one, very strong player. And he'll be in the D2 finals of what should be Senate and 109. My opinion, a banger of a game. You never know. I'll be casting that, and then Thursday I'll have, which should be, I think, a very interesting, is I'm going to marathon every single draft in a day. All of the roller rival drafts, I'm going to cast, and I'm going to marathon them all. One stream, no breaks. I don't have a webcam right now, so I got to figure that out, but like, everything else, I'm going to be on here for like a 12-hour stream. It is going to be nutty. I'm also going to regret it miserably, but, you know, have some fun in life, man. You do miss that, I think, pretty important, where if he got that, you know, ram just a little bit earlier and was able to stop some of that verticality, would have helped quite a bit. Maybe give them a little more to work with. Instead, you're going to see the double floor rams being made. You have all that pressure sort of starting to be coming, and those long angles you want to have is going to start popping up. That's what you got to worry about, though. Long angles are going to be the death of you in these games. You got to be perfect, and you cannot afford to lose a body. But instead, you're going to see damage already found as Buddha is finding a bit of his first little pick there. He hoped to find some damage, but a bit of a surprise shot as you do see some C4s and everything coming out, as hopefully you'd find something there if you are obviously a 907, but I don't think Squirtle is going to fall for that kind of thing. Not in a game like this. Instead, he's going to have to look much harder, look much farther, and I think really shows some great analyst plays as Buddha isn't really an IGL, but in terms of this team, he can sort of take that role at times, but you have Popify in that big role, I think. You have him where he can create a lot of space, can get a lot of differences in this team. He can really, I think, force himself onto a very easy position to find some kills. Vux, the entry for this team, is also in a good position, but wallbang damage, I think a bit of an unexpected, might warn him a little bit about there's something still coming towards him, but you're going to find damage. A beautiful shot onto Cody. Now you find that first pick. Finally, your entry starts to show up, and now he can afford to play the roam. All he wants is the time's winding down here, only with a minute or so left, and you find that first pick. That is everything you wanted and more, is now you can all fall back, you can all wait for that execute, and this is where you're going to have to see a much different side of Redemption, where we don't generally see them try to do well at the executes. So not a great execute team, but this could be a good chance to prove that they're at that level. They're still a good team when it comes down to those last 35 seconds when you need to plant the bomb. But you got to go perfection here. You have no time to spare. This is going to be a nail biter of a round, as you're not going to have anything really to work with here. You'll have your Grims at least, but that's it. Everything else is kind of gone. Your smokes are limited. Your flashes are none. What do you work with here when a situation where there's not a lot to even work with? A post plant doesn't even look like an easy, really solution, as you are seeing Buddha find one. Maybe a bit of a slow start from her. ITQC and Quex all find each other, and you're seeing a run across. The Squirtle needs to find something, knows the time's going to wind down, but they know it's not going to be enough, as you do see at least the 4-2 half that was predicted from Tactical, or excuse me, from Avante and me, but now you have a chance to change. Buddha makes sure it stays the normality and a very normal half with a lot of chances, I think, here. Redemption at least found their minimum. They found what they needed to. Now they got to build on the attack, or on the defense, excuse me. Now, in terms of bans, I would expect sort of the same thing. Not really any major changes, despite the side change. A lot of teams just don't like, they keep what they like, and why change them? I think you're going to see that pretty consistently. Neither team is going to feel the need to really try to switch up the book at this point, this early on. But you do see the Clash being banned. Not a bad ban from the side of 907. I think they recognize how strong that can be. And you might even see a Legion ban in the second or third ban here, as you do have one of the best Legion players in the league by, I think, quite a large margin here. And to be entirely fair, when he does play, the ban rate of Legion spikes up 20%. That alone is kind of impressive. To be able to do that and command that kind of presence is insane, but they have to ignore it, and you have the Ram and the Cade go. I think here it'd be a little bit of a surprise if we don't see at least some form of what is the Goyo, which is very common op for Squirtle, or the Legion maybe later on, post at third ban. But if you can keep a close game here, if you can keep, 907 on their toes, even if you don't win, that's such a huge thing. You can say, we're coming into that final, that second map. Yes, we're down a map, but we still have that fight in us. We still have that real chance of winning it. And then post map 2, I'll have, instead of a map break, we'll have an analyst come in and talk for those 5 minutes in between maps. If you have subs, you'll see most of it. If not, then I need ads during those times so you guys don't have ads mid-game. Sorry, it has to happen at some point. Sub if you are a madman, or if you have like Prime, I guess. Because respectfully subbing to a dude like me is crazy. It's the equivalent of paying a TV subscription to be type fair, because I'm casting games all the time. If you like Siege that much, you know what, you do you. I'm certainly not gonna not take it, but like, I have questions. But this is actually very common play in Pro League, is you'll see this mirror can watch so much now as you can watch all the way into IT. You can see all of this really enter area, and normally you'd see a castle, I think is the big difference. You would expect a castle here because now there's a lot of pressure that you can easily put on. Or Buddha, who can even use his Twitch drone to come in and, you know, maybe not so much with the mute there, but I think there's still a lot here that is very worrying, is you could have a lot of pressure come towards you and you wouldn't even know it. But I think no reason for worry quite yet. I think this setup is a bit of a difference, and I think that's what you'd expect in Grand Finals. You expect everyone to sort of change how they play, change their defaults, find that difference. So, not a bad time for it. I'm genuinely having Mac Miller come on at this time. Awful smart shuffle, Spotify. Come on now. But despite the very interesting music choice, you do have what should be probably a mirror trick in plans. But he won't see it in time, and instead he's essentially going to be put in a really weird position where I don't think he can even move, as Popify has that spot on him just barely with a pixel, and he finds Cody pretty easily. That advantage you really want here goes the way of 907. The start you really want to see, and now you got to kind of finish it up long term. You got to get those BPs as you're doing with Popify. You got to get that basic utility. And Vox is in a bit of a position that I think is a little unexpected, but it won't matter, as Noct is very aware of it and finds that pick, tying it back up, making sure these numbers stay pretty close here. And Noct finds another on the Buddha. Doesn't matter if you have a pixel peek, we're just going to throw everything at him here, and the Madman goes for it and swings very, very easily. But within reason here, I think, is the big thing. You gotta find something within reason here. You gotta find damage on a Dark here. I think a bit of a role player, but we've seen him take a bigger role at times. You're seeing Noct, even though a hard support, playing that same, I think, headliner role that we normally see from someone like Tactical. But that's fine, though, I think, is we know that someone like him can step up. We also know how much pressure we can see put on from ITQC if he can really step on the gas here. We could see him step up. We could see Squirtle. So many things that could happen here from Redemption despite them being down. That's what you gotta look for, is you gotta look for that big change. You gotta look for that, hopefully. Tactical, definitely find some drones and flashes, and everything's gonna come towards him, as he's very aware that there's gonna be a lot of pressure and he can't have a lot of time to deal with it, as it's all gonna come down on him. As Dark at least finds one to make it a 3v3, but it's so very close now. His numbers is not really a big thing you can take care of, but Quex finds two in a very, very aggressive start, and now you have Tactical in a 1v3, but it won't matter as it's finished off by a Goyo, of all things. Good start, and I think a pretty good round here, trying to loom towards that match point and maybe dominate. That's what you want to see, though, to be in tie frame. I think the numbers matter so much in a team like this, where both sides feel, I think, equal enough where it's going to come down to those brass tacks. It's going to come down to the very smallest of margins, because you're not going to have anything to work with if you're either side. You're going to have to work with small increments of anything. You'll see.
Attackers need to locate and
There's still a chance for some hope here for Redemption if you can find a round. I think the odds can still be in your favor. Still some genuine greatness that could come from this. But I think this is the big thing, is you gotta find that first pick for Redemption. You need to finally show some big fight on that entry side. Everyone's just doing playoffs. But I think you still got to be very careful here, as everything could go your way and everything could fall apart if you're 907, even though you do have that good advantage. Yes, the numbers are where you want them to be, but is that going to be enough? Is that chance enough to really work for it? But the odds, I think, can still be in your favor, and it's going to come down to these first picks here. It's going to come down to what you can find, and Squirtle on the Legion Shotgun goes to a bit more of a familiar friend for him, as we do tend to see him on that. Very commonly uses it and one of the best on it, so not a big surprise, but it does mean I think there's a range of outcomes here. If you find two, if you find that aggression, suddenly you have to worry about you again. That's what you got to worry about then. Can you show out? Can you really prove that you can hang at this level? You at least find some damage onto a drone out of all things. I suppose not really damage, but I might consider it such. And you do see what should probably be, maybe not a hop-in, but some aggression at least from Dark, as he's trying to find, you know, bait out that pick there, bait out something. He's going to be a little unlucky, as I don't think it's really going to happen. You never know, though. Chances are still within reason. The first one is fine. Make that, too, as everybody's going down in a bit of a slurry, and beautiful shots from Dark here to get that aggression. The Madman on a hard support decides to pop his way in, but Cody won't. We'll make sure those numbers stay close. Make sure we still have a competitive game here. Because once again, I think that's what he's kind of searching for long term. And Squirtle with that Legion Shotgun finally coming more into effect. You always got to worry about it, but finally put some pressure on there. And now you see someone like Quex, who's kind of in a position where he doesn't know what to do, because there's a lot of issues. You do at least find one here if you're Popify, getting those numbers back to even, back to what you want him to have. What do you mean? Right here. What the hell? What the hell? I'm getting rage baited. But you still have everything ready. But Popify, the Madman on it in a 1v1, everything's going to come down to the brass tacks, as you have your arguably two best players in the server right now doing it all at once, and now you got to be perfectionist. There's not a lot to spare. And you have two very odd positions where they kind of swapped it. They haven't really gone normally. They haven't taken that normal traditional team fight. And Butte, a shotgun shot from halfway across the map. Good lord. I didn't realize the Boshi was also an SAS operator too. Good lord. Damn. Damn. Well, a sniper shot does get you at least a very much needed round. Bro, what is this music? Spotify is no longer trustworthy. Like, I'm getting capped out by Spotify. No. Also no. There we go. Cartier, some would say. From my burger, we're like 10 blunts from. I told my burger, we're like 10 blunts from. Now, back to more important things, like the actual game. I think you do have a very strong start from Redemption. This is sort of what you wanted. Is yes, you might not win map 1 because this is their map that they're 5-0 on, but there's still a good chance. There's still some hope. That is all you need. Whatever, I'm not dealing with this wild stuff inside, because why would Siege ever work? He set it to Central and then decides to go West, even though I'm in the Midwest. Like, very far in it, that Central is always it. I don't like those. Yeah, I am doing Roller Rivals drafts all of Thursday. Like, literally all of Thursday. Start from V1 to V6. I will probably be streaming from 8:45 in the morning to like 2 in the morning next day. And not 24 hours, but pretty damn close to. Because drafts generally tend to start pretty annoyingly. And tell you what you want to school. But back to more important things like the actual game that's currently going on. But, ping goes crazy for a second, because when would it not? I think the numbers at least look strong, but I think the one thing we haven't really seen is a strong take person for the entries. Normally you see 907 or Redemption dominate their games. They're not an in-between team, but a difference today is neither team has really taken that big step to really dominate everything like that. They've kind of been slow to get it. They've been not really the same aggression you've seen. I think that's a bit of a respect for either team. Both teams don't generally feel that to each other because they feel like they can dominate. Both teams know that this is a strong team to go against. They can't afford to make that kind of play. Gotta play smart. Dark at least finds the first here, where I think he's taking a much bigger role. Instead of being the role player, being that main man you need, but Buddha, as the hard support, still comes in occasionally to find his big picks in an ITQC, and suddenly your situation looks a little bit more dire, as now you have low numbers and you need to find a pick here, but Dark's going to find another in a 2v5. You at least get a little close with Cody finding one, but you have all of your Hall of Famers alive. You have everything that could be going wrong here for Redemption, as they need to try to find something to stave off a match point. Stave off that point where you truly feel like it's do or die. You need that chance to just have more room. And it could be found here, but instead Buddha knows he's coming, and now it's down to Noct in a role that he's never really been in. A comeback role where everything feels on the line because you're approaching that match point, but it won't matter because Popify knows and is waiting for you. The match point looms over the head now of Redemption. Scary, scary times is... Now you can't afford to lose. You can't afford to lose even a single person, a single round, because you'll lose that big game. You'll lose that big round, and suddenly it doesn't look anywhere near safe. Always going to be an issue, I think. Mega. Am I listening to Tyler? Maybe. Maybe just a chance. That was kind of wrong, I'm not gonna lie. It does not fit. Either way, though, on to more important things. I think that if you are a Redemption fan, this is more what you expected. If you were going into this expecting a win from Redemption, that's a hard task. This is the map that they're 5-0 on. 907 are the strongest Nighthaven team, arguably in the entirety of console. They've beaten Iola, they've beaten the strong teams, they've beaten, Mingo, they've beaten Sky, they've beaten Richie. They don't lose on this map. It is a terrifying prospect going against them, trying to win this. This is where you lose. This is where, your dreams die, is in Nighthaven. But you have so many more maps here, I think, to come back to.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
That's what you got to look forward to. You got to look forward to those map 2s, where there's a lot more chance. Redemption, who have played Chalet at least 2-0 so far, and a very roam-heavy map that I think is going to benefit them, when they do get to that. I think this map sort of went how we expected, though. The players that are popping off are more or less what we saw. Cody, I think, has sort of fallen back a little bit, but ITQC generally doing what he does. I think he had a 1.57 generally in Nighthaven, so not a big surprise. 11 and 7 is the average for him. 2 assists as well, but not a big deal. I think Quex and Popify sort of done the same thing. You expect it, you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to come. They're the strongest flex duo. They're going to absolutely run over you at times. However, I think the big difference is we're seeing Dark take the role that generally you see Vux take. The man who feels like he was promised to be the king on entries has taken a step back. Despite his, I think, amazing regular season performance, he hasn't been the same player since those playoffs started. That's the big issue, is how can you adapt here? But Blita finds a bit of an easy first, as I'm pretty sure just a straight wall bang, and damage on both sides of Squirtle and Blita. Joe's both trying to find that advantage there. You turn this into a 5v3, look all but over, but if you can find the pick, it's really, really big for you. But both teams, both players are very well known for being good on entry. They're not going to give you the freebies. And all the damage coming towards you as Buddha's looking for that, but he's not going to be given much. It feels like both people are so scared to do anything, and the C4 went out, but it wouldn't matter because Popify was right there ready to save it. ITQC at least find something, but you're in a position where everything closes in on you. It's a 2v4 now. Tactical and Noct in a position of absolute dire situations. All or nothing is you want to keep this dream alive. You want to keep that map 1 win possible. Prove some more. Get at least a little bit more to work with here, instead of having to go down in that 5-minute map break and really rethink it. You want to come out of that as a win. You want to come out of that as an overtime. Instead, you're going to have to see perfection from the side of Tactical. Perfection from the side of Noct. And it's not something we see. We don't generally see them take these big rolls. We're really seeing damage being taken. A start that you want, but you got to be perfection. And it won't matter because you're running out of bullets and you did it wrong. Quex finds it in a 1v4. Now you're down to a one-man, one singular person who can change it all, but does he have that much in him? Does he have the miracle ready? Does he have a chance to really pull it all out? I think a little bit more unknown of a man, and well, things could change. It doesn't look possible. You at least find one. You got to play perfect in the C4 here. You do find 2, and suddenly this maybe looks possible, but you got to play perfection because now you're in a post plant. And suddenly it looks a bit more unlikely, but it won't matter as Vux waits for it. Finds that final kill, and you do approach it, finally. A little bit of turmoil in between, but 907 proved why one of the best teams on this map, one of the strongest team on console in Nighthaven. They do it by winning that first map. This is a special little recording for Grand Finals. We have... Oh, I suppose you want to introduce yourself?
The big squirt.
All right, dude. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think that this is certainly the best time to do one. Is not even in what 6 hours. We're gonna have ourselves a full BO5 against probably the strongest team.
Because we're gonna 3-0 sweep them. It doesn't matter.
You think you're gonna 3-0 sweep?
Yep.
Okay, let's go through some of the basics. The team that is at least on the side of 907, they haven't lost a map once in recent timing. They've lost maybe one map in the past 4 months in League. What's your plan to really try to beat them here?
You know, just to stick to our game plan and just beat them. I mean, we're not scared. They're a beatable team, and it's just that simple. Any team's beatable, and we're just gonna beat them. I believe we're better than them, so.
Now, I think this one is certainly a bit of a more odd question that'll be covered more in the Grand Finals when I start doing notes, but you picked defense, or attack first, for all of your maps. It's a bit of an oddity. Why?
We just feel more comfortable on attack and have more strats on attack, and we're usually better at attacking both of those maps, so I just picked it.
I mean, I respect the, I guess, uniqueness there, but I got a question. You know, that might be a really bad move, giving a team that's so good on the roam, like 907, a chance to get ready and warmed up on the roam. I don't know. Who do you think is the biggest player to worry about right now on that whole team?
It's a team-based game. I'm not really worried about one person, but I'd probably have to say, like, Vox or something like that. I mean, Winda, probably.
Fair enough.
Quacks, most likely. Quacks.
Who do you think is the most overrated player on both teams? So I'm gonna have you rat on one of your own guys.
I'm not answering my team. Hell no.
Fine. Then.
Probably Vox. Probably.
Really? The Madman on entry is the overrated one. Okay, I respect it. Then let's just go through some of the maps. What you're gonna be doing. NHL. You're gonna have there's gonna be 907 defense first, 5-0 on the map. Anything different, really? Or what are you gonna change the game plan? Change how you generally play? Or are you just gonna run the same old, and try to beat them in the defaults?
Same old. Just you gotta beat them in the most important gunfights. You just can't give up first pick, and I feel like we can win dominantly. Our attacks on NHL are really good, so I'm not really worried.
Do you think there's one player on your team that's gonna show out more, maybe, than I think what is expected?
Probably ITQC.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Or not.
ITQC is underrated as hell. He flexes around. He's a relatively good roamer. Got it all. Out of all of, you know, Roller Rivals, SSL Finals, I don't know what else you've been to. What is the most nerve-wracking playing?
Like, the most nervous I've ever been in a game, or like...
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's probably when I 1v1 stomping. But, like, in a 5v5 format, I don't really get nervous. I don't remember the last time I've been nervous in a 5v5.
Let's say, hypothetical with me, if you win this, let's not say dominantly, but if you win this, you know, 3-2, nail-biter game, what's next for that team? Are you gonna stay with 6-7?
I'm gonna stay with, like, the 6-7 team. The team is pretty much just, like, getting better, like, 4-man, like, 4 more people on the 10th man, and just leaving sprays, pretty much. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, I think it's certainly a decision that no one is surprised about. He's had his significant issues playing that high-level support, but I don't know, I think it's exciting to see, you know, if Nock can step up into that bigger role.
Finna see me shoot and still walk up.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Dry ass start today. What do you think is your strongest point as a team? Just one singular thing.
It's hard. I feel like just not, like, mental chalking. You know, no matter what we pretty don't mental chalk, and then we just carry on and win rounds.
What would you guys say is your strongest map then?
Night Haven.
And we're back. Now, all the hope in the world for a team, but you gotta show more. You gotta prove that you can hang at a level that, you know, you can genuinely sit here. You can be at this level and hang. Because there's so much you have to do right now. Whoa. Oh. Why is my current map all crazy? There we go. Sort of. Whatever, I'm calling it good enough. I'm not a madman. I'm not about to try to fix all that. But map 2, all of everything is ready, and after this we will have a break. But not a normal one. I will not be going back to the same damn podcast clip, even though it is new. I will be going to what probably will be Vante, who will be the analyst for the day, because I am not doing all things. I need a break for my voice. Good lord. I like some of y'all, but like, I need a co-caster sometimes, man. My voice kills me. But back into the game, you do see that I think almost similar bands too. The double shield feels very normal. This shield can be so strong on the aggression from Redemption. Good idea, just get rid of them. I really do enjoy that idea of just be willing to sacrifice your band for that kind of thing. The ace isn't a big deal. You're already going to lose the wall anyway. There's no reason to ban it away. I think this map you got to worry a little bit more about is we do see what should be a roam heavier map, which does benefit 907. Yes, that was 907's best map by a mile. Not by a mile, by a very large amount. This is one is, I think, leaning towards Redemption, but just slightly. In terms of who's better on it, but I'm not talking about skill. I have a prediction this will be a 2-0 so far. And I think this is where it's the big thing is the unknown. We have seen genuinely amazing things from Squirtle. He averages 11 and 5, a 2.2 KD, 6 assists, 2-0 on the map so far. They beat Wolves and Semis in Voltage and Quarters. We've seen them be so good on it in this playoff situation. It feels hard to give a reason why they wouldn't be good here. But the issue is now you're going against a team that is arguably the strongest we've ever seen. You're no longer fighting the Wolves. You're no longer fighting the, the Voltages. You're fighting the strongest team ever. Primo Base. You're fighting the death. It's stepping up from like dynamite to like nuclear missile, like an ICBM. For some of you nerds out there. And this is a map where I think that we have seen, I think, that more interesting where the entries don't feel the same. This is a map where it matters a lot more. You need those first picks, and they matter so much more. Even though we do see a team like 907 so good at trading out. We see shots fired from Popeyes. He's not very, very wary. He's very aware of the fact that he's on Scopos. He's going to have all the aggression come towards him. And all right, bro. Ain't nobody co-casting today. This is my one day. Cino did it alone. Ford did it alone. Next season, I'll probably have a co-caster. Full thing. Not this season, though. I'm having my one time. But still have a chance. Still have some odds of something fun coming out of it. You never know. Would at least try into 1 and 2. What is a big pick, but it won't matter when a down's coming out. And ITQC is very ready to finish it off. Now you're back to an even number. A little more unsure of times, and it won't matter. Squirtle's still right there to clean it right back up. I2QC with one more and a Papa. When in doubt, I think that you're still going to see him step up to a bigger role than what is generally expected of him because he's good in these big pressure situations. He just becomes straight up better. Quex lurks his way up, tries to find something, finds one, hoping for maybe 2, but a little bit unlucky that he didn't see ITQC there. And what matters, he at least finds the picks to make this a little more winnable, but very weird. Very, very weird Fender of mine and a big swing, but oh, you're going to see some damage come out of it. overall, I mean, I think there's still quite a bit of hope for this team. I think Vucks could have a big win here and could be a bit of a comeback to what we generally saw in the regular season. But this is not an easy way to do it. You're going to be in a 1v3 with arguably some of the best players in the league right now alive. Cody's seems to be locked in. ITQC is locked in. You know, what do you really find is the exploitable thing here? What do you try to fight against? But you at least see one if you're Vucks. You at least find something here on tactical. Get your odds a little bit up. Get your numbers a little bit closer. And if he can isolate another one here, this might genuinely be a very winnable match here. A very winnable round, but you're going to have to isolate something that I don't think we're going to be seeing given. ITQC, though, could very well lurk his way behind and find something. He at least finds damage and just holds the angle, sprays it down, and makes sure he finds Vucks. Redemption grabs the first. Now, back to more numbers, which is more my, you know, bread and butter. Your free is crazy. Now, I mean, numbers-wise, it's relatively close. I think that it's early on enough. You're not too worried. There's still, you know, something that could change, something that you could see for. That's always what you got to look for, is that hope. I think a team like 907 certainly has a lot more to look forward to. We've seen that consistently. They're just that team that's ready for it. They're no stranger to the bright lights, where we have seen Redemption, who haven't really played that crazy. They don't play a lot of playoffs. They're a relatively new-ish team. This roster hasn't generally played that many, you know, crazy high-pressure games together. They're not in a roll of rivals, really. It's sort of just a big question of, you know, what's next? Because this is where the high pressure comes in. This is where you start to realize you got to be so perfect in the game like finals. 1,000 on the line. That's a really big deal, because that's probably this is the biggest league as of right now in the entirety of the console. There is some pressure that comes to that. We'll see how much longer that lasts, depending on how Wild Boys League does. They seem to be doing relatively well, but we'll see. For now, though, I think SSL holds that title pretty single-handedly. But you never know. You might see something fun. You just gotta be very careful if you're any player here. You gotta be very, very perfect, because there's not so much to spare, even if you are Redemption here. You do have a round, but we've seen how much that matters. We've seen how fast that momentum can change in just one play. And that's the big thing, is one kill means so much. And Cody does find the first, and I think Wood is a bit of an oddball to find it, but you get your numbers how you get them, and losing Vucks is, I think, a less important thing than it would have been, you know, during regular season. He's consistently taken a more far back role into a soft support or even a flex, and we're seeing someone like Popova, someone like possibly, you know, step up. Quax generally does play, I think, with a role that we do see split from Vucks. And you will see a bit of a committee play almost to try to replace that entry level that was once almost impossible to beat. Now it's at least very replicatable, it feels. Seeing at least a lot of pressure in general, but you got to find a pick here, and that's the big issue, is what do you find when there's not a lot being given to you? You do at least see what should be a very easy wall to find if you do get some below coverage here. With 3 bodies, at least in the very vicinity of the area. Should be able to find the bandits relatively easy. Quax does find one, as once again, you can't deal with him with just one main. You're going to have to spend more than just that. You're going to give him damage. You're going to give him everything he wants here, where he can just waste your time, waste your bodies, and everything he wishes. All in that round with Buddha finding one. Brothers. I will admit, ITQC is on a bit of a start that was more unexpected. It's not that he's not a great player. He's genuinely an amazing player, but this is way above what he punches at normally. You do at least find damage on the Buddha, but it's not going to matter when the numbers are way so far leaning in the other direction. Now you got to find what is a much harder fight to, I think, win. Tactical isn't a bad player. Noct isn't a bad player, but you're taking hard supports against a 2v4 and a Hall of Fame players, and Quax finds another now. It feels like this position here is unclearable from him, and he at least finds one more, but it won't matter. The Popify swing right after to make sure he gets those numbers close in that first round. I think where it sometimes lands is you don't need that, you know, really flashy playstyle. You can have 907 where sometimes, yes, they run out, but they can play this slow, grindy game and let it all just kind of come up. They're fine if they lose a couple picks. They're fine if they go down, if they can just play it slow and run it all back. see here. I didn't put a prediction up for map 2, actually. I forgot. Low-key, I might genuinely just put up one now, even though it is, because it's 1-1.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Screw it, I'm putting a prediction. Y'all can complain later. It's too early, or it's too late. It's not fair. Whatever. Spend your money. Spend those points and gamble, I say. Spend them. Okay, first prediction. 1. Boom. Start prediction. We'll go to... We'll do 5 minutes, screw it. And there we go. A little bit odd in terms of timing for you guys because of the 90-second delay, but or 180. I don't know. We're on something long, I think. But what you want to see, and we also might see, I think hopefully an even half. That is the best thing you want to hope for. Here is you want to hope for an even half to sort of put maybe a bit of a slower stop to 907. You know, they had their strong lap on Nighthaven. They had a strong half, but maybe it's a bit more of a comeback down to earth here. And also a very, very odd setup here where you have the double Mira. That might be shootable. It might be shootable if you come right to the edge here, but this setup, I think, at minimum demands a bit of a question mark on the team. This doesn't feel anywhere near as stable or as like a consistent setup you can really just deal with easily. It's weirder. It works more on based of chemistry and trusting your teammates to hold your crosses. I like it. I think this is a big thing. Is, you know, we're seeing this more in grand finals, obviously, than anything else, but the playbook is changing. These teams aren't playing the same game that we generally see. We're seeing Popify at least find the first, and Buddha with another great ones on the Cody knocked, but now you're going to have to see, I think, a bit of an aggression from Squirrely as he tries to find something, but it won't matter because Quex is right there to pick it up. Tactical at least brings the numbers back to reasonable, but what are you going to pull out of here? You might have space that ITQC found, but you can't get rid of those Miras. You don't have a lot to work with here, as you're kind of just hoping for something special to come out of it. You're hoping for miracles, and it's always a hard thing to wish for when Quex finds another, and suddenly you're in an almost impossible situation in a 1v4. The bodies aren't going to be thrown. Popify finds it, and everything goes their way. 2-1, 907. Let's see these predictions now. I took a bit of a break because I could fix my Twitch. What are the predictions looking at? 100%, 3K on 907 is crazy. The redemption, someone put like $10 on redemption, or like, you know, fucking like 10 points. Do it. Come on, do it. Last 2 minutes. I beg of y'all. You guys will get this in time for the delay. Come on now. Just put on like 10 or 100 points for, you know, redemption. You'll win huge. You'll win miracles. Come on. It's only 2-1. Come on. Do it. Do it. I dare. Or don't. I don't know.
Attackers need
Who
to
knows?
locate
Who
and
knows?
defuse bombs. Attackers have located a bomb.
The predictions, I think, are not crazy to see. It was a 7-3, so I do expect a crazy lean towards the side of 907, but nothing on redemption is crazy. They're not that bad. Jeez. Now, redemption, I think, still have some life here. They just got to find much needed picks early on. They cannot afford to just sort of play around with it. They got to find them early. They got to find them good, and
5 seconds to insertion.
which should be, I think, a very basic roam for them. Nothing crazy defaulting.
Attackers are
Both
heading
sides
out
playing
to
more of a
defuse bomb.
default here. Not really a crazy finals play. In terms of roamers here, it kind of depends. We could see a 2-2 split. 2 upstairs, 2 downstairs in a roam, but it probably looks to be maybe, yeah, Buddha playing half or K9. Then you have everyone else playing somewhere in that second floor and then falling off occasionally. A very default take, it feels and looks as. But you see quite a bit of drone chasing from Popify to make sure he keeps those fenders just fine and alive. And Cody does finally find the first, and what has been a very very iffy start here on the entries for one side. And the entries haven't looked what you'd expect for Redemption, but you do find your first eventually. The numbers finally starting to maybe get a little bit closer. A little bit of a chance, a little bit of hope. Still a lot you got to do here, though. Don't think it's easy here if you're Redemption. There's still a lot that can go wrong. You still got to play it, and I think a very high level is... One pick isn't all the end of the world here, I think, for 907. They're good at falling off. They're good at playing time, and it won't matter if you're up, you know, 3 numbers. If you have 5 seconds left to execute, they have a C4 in hand. That's always the issue is, yes, they're willing to give you picks, but it might be enough where they're willing to trade them for time. They genuinely are willing to just say, we'll give up 3 bodies if we lose 45, or if, you know, we lose 2 minutes. Or 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I think they have a point there, where they're willing to just give up a lot of bodies. And yes, it might look like it's a crazy blunder, but it might be a very well calculated play. Now you're in a position where you have a lot you could look for if you are Cody. I think cut in between 2 players that could also fall into a bit of a mistake. They have a lot of things that could go wrong for them if they're just off by even a pixel. But you do have to go wrong. You have to be in the right position. And still no real pressure on Oblita here. He can just kind of stay with, even with a minute left, it won't matter. You do find at least 1 here. Squirtle keeping those numbers very strong, but traded out by Vux maybe a little bit later. Now the problem is you have Diffuser in a bad situation. Dark finds 1 more, and you do have Squirtle below trying to find something, but he might be able to go for a plant here. Honestly, there isn't a lot of pressure towards him. It would not be an easy plant, let's all be realistic, but it's still a possible plant here early on. Noct finds another. First one for him is he started a bit slow, and ITQC has a bit of a cross here. He can maybe find the feet of someone like Azami, like maybe we do see Vux sort of fall off the other direction, but Squirtle's getting a lot of damage sent on him. He can't really feel safe to plant anywhere. He's going to have to kind of, you know, makeshift it up, but it won't matter because Vux finds it. And you're seeing that they're playing these hatches, they're playing this verticality so well. They're keeping these numbers, they're keeping everything they need here to try to make sure they can guarantee a chance of a plant, but finally it feels like they got that weak spot. They don't watch the hatch too much, and you can't fall off in time as Noct is kind of stuck in a position where he now has to hold the 2v1 inside. He doesn't have time to fall off. They won't let him run out that window. Now you can't afford to lose anything here as you need to find this round. You at least find 1 as Noct has a double in the round. A slow start for him, but much better later on. You have the mirror to work with, but it won't matter as Dark's perfection finds the man, finds the defuse, and you have a very, very strong start for 907. It could have been a 2-2. It could have been even, but instead Dark goes off. The man does what he needs, and that's worth a lot. Respect the man, you know what I mean? Hey, listen. If I hold at least a decent finals, I'll be better than 4's 1 final, or 2 finals. He had 1 that was good, 1 that was kind of bad. And if I hold a good finals, maybe I'll measure up to Cito's. Mostly because he had 619 and no beta cast, but like, you know, just per chance, I can maybe get to his level. I have at least 1 good finals. I'm not entirely washed.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
And also, right after, don't really leave, because we still do have a couple of awards to give out. Who? I'm not entirely sure quite yet, because there are awards to be entirely fair. Now let's see here if I can find just a little bit something more interesting to look at. I do see Vux in their own, despite his, what I call is a slow start at best. Now, sorry, back to the actual game is there's a handful of awards we still got to hand out, and I think I'll probably do them right before we start map 3. I think, though, we could very well see a genuine triple crown here from the side of 907 if they can win here. If they can get rid of what is arguably one of their harder games. They still have a much longer way to go, where if they want to win all 3 leagues, you might have found 1, but you're still going to have to find arguably, I think, one of the greatest matchups we'll see. And I'll probably be casting as 907 and a beautiful game of, well, it should be 907 and Obey, probably. That game will feed families. I will be fed from that. Maybe I'll get one singular sub for the first time in a century. No hate to the ones I do have, though. I'm a little broke, bro. I need my DoorDash money. Come on. Fund the DoorDash money so I can cast more. Knock does find one. I think not really the player you'd expect to have entries, but right place, right time, can always find it. And Vux feels like he's just falling off at this point. The aggression isn't there from them. He's 0-2. He isn't taking the same fights. He isn't winning the same fights. It feels like there isn't anything there right now. Cody is throwing the flashes. I think putting the pressure there just to kind of give it to him. You know, make him think that, oh, you're not entirely safe here, but I don't see any real intention to run in from them as everything looks towards these stairs here is the plan to kind of move towards. They do have, I think, which should be at least a very winnable spot here. But instead of Dark, we've seen him pull off these moments where he can just genuinely feel like he controls an entire area, and that feels like what he could do on second floor here, but you gotta play smart. Problem is the wall's also gonna lose, and now you're gonna have not a lot to work with as suddenly you have a thermite breach to work with. The run out for the crazy madman, he at least finds one, Buddha with another, and the numbers go all your way as you find that gap. You run in with no real thinking. Doesn't matter as Buddha, Dark find huge plays here. Redemption trying to pull it back in 1v2, but what could have been a great play taken apart and absolutely dismantled by Dark and Buddha at the very end there. 2 doubles from them means you have a very, very impossible win here if you are knocked. Yes, you played great. You played better than the heart support you generally are. But this also is a 1v2 against Pop Fine Quex, the best flexes in the entirety of League. You could put either of them in a conversation for top 10 flexes on console. That is such a hard bar to fight. But if you can find the damage here, if you can find the big down, you can find yourself a 1v1 maybe. Suddenly the odds are not crazy out of your favor. But it might not matter as Quex just runs in the aggression. He finds that pick. He says, I'm not taking that verticality fight. I'm going to fight you one-on-one in the horizontal play. And those holes, maybe not thinking to be a big deal. I just saw yellow. I'm aware you're broke, King, but like, I need my subs pretty, please. So I gotta pay this DoorDash somehow, bro. I want to get Leon Chin. I want to get like Panda Express tonight. Some Chinese food. I ain't paying that on these bum ass, you know, monies. Unironically, I'm probably gonna spend the money I make from today on DoorDash. Is that crazy? Yes, that is. This is genuine wildness, but like, I'm hungry, man.
Attackers need to locate.
I'm kidding. I don't know. We'll see. I might actually kind of get DoorDash. That'd be entertaining. Discard? What? Alright, bro. How many? This man acts like I have 45 different commands. I'll eventually get commands set up, but like, I don't even have a mod in the first place, so. Okay. Sorry, back. I have a mic issue. What does discard mean, bro? Rough Redemption. So far, wiser than for backup. Never get out. Hey, I mean, listen. It could happen. You could see something here, but you also can't afford to lose that many picks. So, I think it's what it come down to is, you know, what can you find here? And Dark feels the aggression flowing through him, but it doesn't matter because Cody still finds the entries because Squirtle's been on a bit of a weak start, but what does that matter when you still at least have Cody going off, getting those entries, finding those first picks? It's been kind of inconsistent so far. Make that another, as apparently he loves finding these early picks. He can struggle a little bit in those late rounds, but he'll make sure you get yourself a little bit of space early on, and that's all you need in this situation is just that first little space to work with. That little nest you can sort of hang around with, but there's damage coming out, and Vux is pushed back, I think, a little bit more preemptively than I think he needed to be, but either way, the Ash was going to stop his, you know, way from playing that half wall, or excuse me, that wall aggressively. Apparently, as you can see, also has the force in here. Are we just Is this the level of Siege we're playing where they just have the force at this point? Is it just like if you play more than like 10 hours a day, you just genuinely gain like spider tingles? Like the spider sense or whatever? Is that what I'm seeing here? Oh, Discord. Yeah, I don't have that. I'm gonna just paste a link because I don't have none of that. And a post plan. Excuse me, is that a ninja? Well, not really a ninja, but that's certainly a plan and opinion. And Cody finds the last kill with a pistol because, you know, who needs main guns? What's that? Okay, back to the band. Sorry. Redemption. I think maybe the half you didn't want to have. You wanted to have more and maybe a little bit different, but... Ugh. Something's caught in my throat today. Oh, and Shady, can you please just, like, send the... Whatever, I'll do it, because if I do it, it's going to happen instantly. At least when I talk. We can talk about bands in between while I'm sort of trying to figure out 12 different things. You do have, I think, at least some hope. Yes, it's the same half, but this is a much better map. So, is it great? No. Is it really what you wanted? No, you hope for so much more, but you can live with this half. Yeah, I don't have a bot that has a exclamation Discord set up yet, so instead we're doing this. Honestly, I'm probably just gonna have the Discord become the Wild Boys link because they have a whole like list of shit, and that makes it so much more convenient. I am not about to type in 4 different links, but they have like all of them set up at one time. I got you. I ain't gonna like. I don't gatekeep, bro. We are not gatekeeping console league, bro. Come in, have some fun, man. Shit talk players. I do that too. Shit. Am I absolutely buns? Yes, I'm like a plat that got carried by like Charlie Whirly once, and like I don't know, half of the players in league have carried me at one point. But I'm plat and I have like a 0.7. I'm ass, but I'm also cashing all their games, so I get the leeway to shit talk occasionally. Unless it's Runner, in which case he's kind of just the free punching bag of every single cast ever. I love you, Runner, but yeah, no, you probably shouldn't have gotten banned, gang. And if we can at least see a good entry here and a good first round, I think it's a big thing is, yes, if you find that, boom. Yes, you started pretty badly. The 2-4 half is not what you wanted to have. When the last time you had a 2-4 half, you did pretty bad. But, you know, maybe if you start a good first round, hope. That's all you need here is you need some hope. You need some real, something to look forward to. I think this is more important when you probably need to win a map. I think for this to really go your way, you might be able to find something late on, but I think going down 2-0 is putting yourself in such a hard situation, but Squirt at least finds something with a shotgun where he's been a little bit more inconsistent than usual, but he can still be relied upon sometimes with that shotgun in hand to be, I think, a bit of a menace to society, if you will. I wouldn't exactly put it towards him to not be buns. He certainly had his moments today where it feels that he's not at the full, you know, level we expected. There's still chances, and I think that if you want to be a big fan here, Cody. I'm sorry. Huh? Was it? Huh? So he just full swung it. Okay, I got you. Okay, so Cody's mentally insane. Sorry, I had to make sure we are. I was right. So yeah, we need to fetch his pills maybe and make sure he doesn't have like Adderall coursing through his veins. So it's like in an IV at this point. Squirrel does find another with the shotgun in the midst of my shit talking. And to be fair, I think that he's in a position where he has a lot of pressure he can apply, and they're all in different ways. He doesn't really need to do anything. His shotgun is essentially a death trap that they can't really deal with. Because how do you fight it? It's vertically being held on you. You can't really take this fight from the window because he'll just sit there and there can be someone holding across. What do you do against this shotgun is a question you're going to have to ask. And I also don't really have a good answer for it, even though I'm the customer. I'm the coach here. I'll coach, but I also don't really tell you what you should do with that Legion shotgun, because that isn't a winnable situation. Unless one of you manifests the spirit of Bolo in half a second, I think this round might be considerably over. Which is, to be entirely fair, a much better and needed thing. If you are a Redemption fan, you want to see a round, you want to see some hope. Quex is making sure there's still at least some chance there. There's some sliver of hope. Still hard odds here if you are a fan of 907. I have number me spreadsheets. Their 2v4 chance is at like 12%. Or no, 17, sorry. That was wrong numbers. 17% chance of them winning this round. Is it possible? Maybe, but there's also 12 seconds left, and now you're looking for nothing as Squirtle and Cody both find one. I'm yapping on about numbers and don't matter because you got a shotgun in hand and all the ego in the world. Hey, you got your first pick. You got a pretty necessary pick, I think. And this is where you do got to worry, is that shotgun might start to reign supreme, and Legion shotgun, out of all things, is really going to be your pain in the ass. Is it expected? No, it is not. But I mean, it's also not really that crazy to say because it's Legion shotgun. It feels that we're going to run into the same issue every time. The ban rate spikes up 18% whenever he plays Legion shotgun. Yeah, you just ban Legion against, Squirtle on Chalet and like Clubhouse. Yeah, don't even try to play it. Just ban it. Just safety ban it for your sanity. Because he averages like he averages 10 on a side of defense with Legion shotgun when he's playing it generally. I think his average is like 4 rounds out of 6. So, I mean, I think if you're averaging like 1.5 or like 2 kills a round on Legion shotgun, ban it away. I'm just saying this as like a genuine fan of 907 in Redemption. He's a menace. Charlie Whirly's a menace. He was annoying as a toxic kid, back when everyone knew him for getting viral. Now, instead of being a toxic kid, he's toxic from the Legion shotgun. So, better? Maybe, but he's still a pain in the ass to deal with. So, I guess pick your poison. One's more miserable than the other, but still pick your relatively annoying poison. Now, in this time, while we wait for everyone to sort of get in a position and something to happen, let's talk about the leagues of console. Some of you might know, some of you might not. Wild Boys is doing his thing, their thing. That prize pool is officially around 100 or 1.6 thousand. Scissor is obviously coming back. Black Hole is currently at 1,000, but their season has started. Champions at like 600, 400, I don't know. Around the 400 mark, I think. They're going to do probably good. There's some hope. We'll see. I'm interested, is what I'll say. You also do have, I think, which should be relatively interesting, I think, play here. It is default, yes. The defaults have kind of slid back into the normality where we're seeing a lot of crazy plays in terms of strategies, mirrors being used in weird-ass positions. Redemption is going to fall more back into the normal, more back into what they're used to, which isn't a bad thing, I don't think. I think they're so used to, using this Legion shotgun and being a menace. Why change that, honestly? I don't see a great reason why, and I don't see why they shouldn't just keep it. Also, C4 is kind of watch your head there. As ITQC is chucking them around, because why the hell not? I suppose you should say. I mean, odds are I think there's still a good chance here for Redemption. They just got to play this post plant really, or this late round really right, because they don't have a lot to work with generally. But Dark is going to find the first. It feels like post plant starting to loom over your head now. It looks very likely that they get it down and Knock, Squirtle, Vux all find bodies, and you still end in a 3v3 somehow, because apparently advantages are hard to come by in a game like this. The big thing to deal with is you still have to deal with the entirety of this, realm from Squirtle, where he can flank down and be an annoying person. And Cody finds the advantage, and suddenly they have all the reason to play back and just kind of hide, as they have the numbers, they have everything they need. And now you have a Doc who just healed up the most annoying player in this lobby. Have fun. In hell, I suppose. But it is Wood and Quex. I feel like counting them out of any situation despite being down a player, it feels a little ridiculous. Yes, they have their issues, but it's Wood and Quex. There's a reason they won multiple roller rivals. Just like trust them at this point. I'm not saying they're going to win. I'm not even saying they have a great chance, but it feels wrong to say they don't have any chance. It's not like we're dealing with humbugs here. This is the grand finals. You're seeing 2 of the best players under pressure. They have a chance. Good chances? God, no. I think I have like a 30-something%. I'm not checking my spreadsheet again because but they have good odds. At least odds that you think is better than the average, which is saying enough. Maybe at least find one for Squirtle, and suddenly the numbers go back to normal, and there's still a good chance here, but now you have a very hard post plant, and now you have a 1v2 when this one should be all but over. You might have had a shot when you had someone to cover the plant, but you have to vault in, try to go for a bit of a miracle plant, but it won't matter when they're just going to wait that time out, and maybe there's life in the team that struggled just a little bit. Remember, if we see an overtime or a map win from Redemption, this is the first, that's a history in the entirety for 907. They have never lost a map. They've never gone to overtime. That would be the biggest thing ever. I think they've lost a singular map in Champions to like Synergy. That's it. To Madden Y Synergy. That is all they've done. They don't lose. They don't even really feel like they struggle. They just kind of maybe don't win 3 rounds in a row. So we'll see. I'm not counting them out, but odds are not in their favor.
Attackers need to locate.
Hey, don't count out any of these teams, because I've learned to do that before with 907, with Redemption, and yeah, I'm not doing that again. I enjoy not being wrong and being absolutely, piled onto. All right, there. Sorry, back to normal. And then Dean is... I'm very aware... No, these teams have made a truce where... Huh? Oh, it's kick. I was so confused for a second. I thought that was the weirdest emote, and I was, like, terrified. It was, like, corn or something. No, it's just a kick emote. They have some weird emotes. Because, yes, I'm streaming on Kick. And TikTok, I think. Don't question it, honestly. Don't even question it. Don't worry, I'm still gatekeeping all the funny stats and stuff. Y'all can, unless y'all chalking up crap ton of money, my secret stats for console stay safe. Because, yeah, no, I'm not giving that out. That's the secret sauce, bro. And not that special, not the special kind, not the... Mine's filled with numbers and boring shit, not the creamy kind. And Dark, once again, feels like no matter how much I say that he's gonna be a role player, and he should have been a role player, he won't. And, so, this is Grand Finals. Bucks, who has been kind of perennially ass so far, just got TK'd. But it won't matter because ITQC apparently is the king to do it. Who needs players when you have one man upstairs? This is certainly, I think, a bit of an all or nothing strategy. Is having one dude upstairs for the entirety of upstairs is kind of a risky play. It can work, and yes, it'll save you bodies in the long term, but Quex might not make that easy, as now you have one player in a position that's kind of hard to fight. This doesn't look great. If you can at least get, overtime here, a match point, this would be huge, and Tactical at least finds one to make it a 1v2, but you don't have any C4s to use. You're going to have to kind of work off a bit of a freestyle here with not a lot looking towards you. Some aggression upstairs could certainly do the job, though. Might not be what was expected, but it could. If you make a play here, this could be a way to do it. Problem is that they seem to be very, very intent on going for the gap here. With mutes, though, it kind of just conceals the image. They don't even really know where it's coming from yet. Quex might be able to find something upstairs, or we could see Tactical find a really big pick here. Maybe lose some damage. Maybe get the diffuser stuck upstairs. And Popfly and Quex have always been that yin and yang, that true absolute duo that you always run into, but it feels so iffy. Stopping the diffuser in this one weird angle is a bit of an odd position to play. You're forcing a very hard stop for you. A very weird position that isn't really liked. And it won't matter, as Popfly does find it. 907, get it. That match point looms over now as only one round before you hit that match point. Or we see a tie-up and we go to a sexy overtime. Either would be fine by me. I swear to God, though, if we see like what it should be like the 5th 7-5 that 907 has had, I'm going to lose it. I like 907, I do, but if I see another 7-5, I'm going to tweak. At some point, y'all got to put up more than 5 rounds. Just do one more to make it overtime. Please, I beg. I'm on my hands and knees. It's going to make me tweak. Ever so slightly, at least. Now, stats-wise, it has been, I think, more on par with what was expected. Maybe not the player doing it, but Cody's madman on entries. Squirtle's kind of ass right now, and Vux is genuinely ass, so... if it's... Except Vux. I get that, yes, he had some serious issues in semis and quarter, but, like, he has genuinely been ass. Like, straight up useless. His entries have been down. He went from being the #1 entry rated, the best entry in the entirety of League in terms of rating and entry numbers. He was like plus 12, or like, I think ended the season like plus 20, no. Yeah, it was plus 22. It's plus 22 on entry. And I think this time he's like minus 9, 10, and it's only 3 matches. He has been perennially just straight ass. I don't know what happened, but he has gone so far downhill. And it hurts because he used to be the literal greatest entry we've almost ever seen. He was on pace to have the greatest entry. And if he kept it up, maybe he could finally break Andy's record of being perennially average in playoffs and then proceeding to drop a 2.4. Or, sorry, perennially average in regular season and then drops 2.4 in playoffs. That would be the hope, is you don't see that. But instead, you're going to see a bit of an iffy one. Nah. I'm just saying. You never see. I think nothing's out of the question, though, especially if you can see Redemption find around. Maybe suddenly we approach a chance where there is an overtime in play, or maybe even a map win for Redemption. That'd be huge. If you can finally have that show of just weakness, if you're, 907, that's a big deal. This team is looked unbeatable. They've looked unstoppable for that matter. But if you find that one, if you just find an overtime, if you find something that's genuinely historical for them, you've got some hope. Cody's taken a bit of damage from Pop 5, if I'm not mistaken, but won't matter too much when there's a dock right there, so... Syringe in hand, it's going to be kind of a pain to deal with him. He also has the right angles to be holding in tight fair, but it doesn't matter because Vux apparently has that shit right out of nowhere and knocked with another in the Buddha. You do lose a lot of players. ITQC with something, and you have madness unfolding on one side of the areas. The picks are coming, I think maybe just not in the order that we expected. But all's well that ends well. Now Dark is the man working his way up, where he could certainly find 1 or 2 or 3 even. But I think it's all going to be down to just positioning and timing, because if we do see someone like, Noct walk his way back up, maybe in a time they'd be miserable, suddenly it's really going to look not like a great round. Now they know you're there, though. Now they know everything is coming towards you, and now your job is to play behind this counter for dear life and try to hold, but instead Dark finds you very early. You waste no time, and it might be a 3v3, but that time is looking at least very good for Redemption. You'd hope for so much more from Noct. He could have had it all. He could have had a very insane hold there and wasted 25, 35 seconds even. Made this an impossible round to win. Instead, it's still very winnable. You're going to have to find what I think is a very hard round to win, though. You still have to come in here with a post plant. There's still a lot of utility here that's still existing and pretty well running. Yes, you lose your BP, so the intel maybe does hurt a little bit, but that's not the end of the world. Dark, though, is playing, I think, a bit of a position that could very much give Squirtle some very needed leeway here. ITQC and Tactical are both low enough that this could be an issue, and a down is at least found. Tactical finds 1. Now in a 3v1, Dark needs perfection from him, and he at least finds something, but he needs to go generational here in a time where there's nothing really there's nothing even to work with here. The time is low, your options are even lower. You need the Vux to come back, and you need to be the generational tournament player we've seen occasionally. We need to see the generational player that we see sometimes. But it needs to be now, and it needs to be when there's nothing left. When time is going to run low on you, you can't look every way, but Redemption finds their way back into it at a 5-5, and suddenly we're approaching a situation we've never seen before. A chance where we will see it overtime, a chance where maybe Redemption can finally make history. There might not be a record broken in terms of BO1 kill record, but it seems to be that we're still going to see a very, very strong start. But 3 maps. You at least have 1 more here if you're Redemption. Even if you lose, you still have 1 more chance to try to bring it back. So that sliver of hope, but it's always a small odd.
protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
But we'll see. My mic has been very oddly off and on, so I'm trying to fix it midway through and not have it happen at important moments, but we just gotta kind of hope that nothing bad happens. I think numbers-wise, there's one player that has kind of taken control of the map and control of the entirety of this that wasn't really expected to. Dark. Yes, he's good, but he was expected to be your support player, your basic, I'll drone for you. Instead, he's essentially become Vux, and Vux has become Dark. They've swapped positions. Because who needs a dominant entry when you instead have a dominant support? Odd times, I suppose. Hey, but I mean, you're putting up at least entry fights. You're getting those big fights. You're starting, the, I think, the rounds. You're getting everything working together. That's what you want. I think maybe a bit of a slower round from Popify sometimes and a bit of slower start, but I think that's sort of the experience with this team is Quex, Popify. They're so good that they'll genuinely cannibalize each other's kills share. Because they're almost always getting the same level of kills where it's these late, like, you know, past 4v4 kills. And that's what that's what they benefit so much on, is not the aggression, but after that. In those trades, in those positions where those crosses being held, they know it a lot better than anyone else. They understand those lines and where everyone is going to be. And Dark apparently says, I'm going to be the entry 2. As we're now back even on entry at 2-2. And he's genuinely putting up what is on pace to be a very generational game for him. Possibly even a generational BO5. Odds are certainly slim, but you never know at points. Maybe the man that was meant for the roleplay is... And suddenly... God, that sounds so bad out of context. Yes, he isn't generally what you consider a D1, like, genuine superstar, but he sure shit showing it tonight, and this is the biggest stage you can be on. This is the most important game you will play in this entire season, and he's showing out today. That is what you want. I'd rather have, you know, a good support than a genuine, like, a generational player in the finals. Yes. Give me that. Give me that. At least he seems to be doing insane so far as... I don't know what's going on in his head, but he has it all down and locked together. And Bucks finally at least find some kills, try to get himself back to even, but it feels that this game has just not really been his game. His BO5 hasn't even been his BO5. It feels like he's being outclassed by the same player that was playing his drones. I was going to make a Whiplash reference, but I think that might be a little bit too niche for some of y'all. Instead, generational things could happen as all Redemption has to do is just win the round, but numbers and trades are still going to come in. It's going to be a 2v4. Not great odds here. We still have ITQC hiding his way upstairs in what is a very all-or-nothing move. If you find 2 or 3 picks here, this is everything. You found your advantage. You found a good chance at winning a round. But if you die here, this is over. Match point 907. But that's the big issue is you do see the drone now. They know where you are. You can't just run away. And now you're in a 1v4 with Vux going finally up to a level that we normally see. You gotta play perfect. You at least find 1, but it won't matter because Vux is right behind with a quad on the round, and he seems to have locked in. Match point 907. All the hope in the world, if you're Redemption, everything that could happen. Everything has to fall right into place. And it was. It looked genuinely perfect for a moment, but again, it feels like those cracks show just at the wrong time as everything could be yours. You could finally have the map win. You could finally be generational. You could finally be the difference. You could finally make a team that has never even had a cut bleed for once. But instead, it feels that 907 is very much fine with holding on to their lead, and they're not intending to give anything up. And this is where you start to worry, is if you're Redemption and you lose this map, you're down 2 maps. This is your do or die. You have to win 3 maps in a row, and some of them you haven't even played in months on a big stage.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
The odds don't
defused
look
by
to be in your favor, but maybe you can pull something out of your ass. So this is the time to do it. This is the round you need most. And this would be the round to be entirely fair that would break SSL history. You go to overtime. That's what you want. No team has even taken it to overtime against 907. Not in any single league. One team has won in regulation, and that was a singular time with Synergy. That's it. Every other time, they either win in regulation or they lost once in, regulation. Overtime is an unknown thing for 907 because we never see it. You're going into the great unknown with a team that is genuinely nearly unstoppable in every other aspect. Entries feels to be their weakness tonight is... Yes, Voxwick big there, but so far in playoffs, he's been almost miserable as a player. He went from what would be around entry... Yeah, I'm calling it entry. We're just going to say ER1 to what is probably around ER25. Not 25. 13, 15, maybe 18. There's some better flexes than him right now on entry, and that's the issue. I think Dark seems to be the one to take that role, because I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised. It feels like he was always the player that is the one to be, and apparently he's once again saying, who needs Bucks? I'm your entry. I'm your generational player. Just have me instead. I think the player that sometimes doesn't even start all the time, but at least ITQC finds it. Now he's going to maybe try to swing for gold here, find that advantage, but instead, we're going to back off against Popeyes. He knows better than that. ITQC might be a madman, but he respects the player, and he knows damn well he's not trying to win that. But Squirtle with the advantage finally is they have their numbers. All they got to do is not throw it here. It could be everything. It could finally be your win. It could finally be the chance you have to just come here, show out, and you got it. But all gonna be down to the small things. Popify, though. Position to change it all. Position to be, I think, either the reason that this game is won in regulation, or the reason we see something generational from Redemption. All down to one man is certainly the pressure that you wouldn't hope to see, and ITQC caught in the middle of a lot of roams here. In terms of cross and where people are holding, he's kind of in the middle of it all, which is, in my opinion, a good thing. I think he's a person you want to have in these positions. I trust him more than most players to hold it, but still a hard thing to beat. Now you got to be perfect here with two players, two of the best in the game right now, Popify and Buddha, both waiting for your swing, both waiting for that moment. And time can wind down, though, if you can just play it right. You don't even have to swing here. You can just play your numbers, play smart. But ITQC with a weird angle here, trying to hop on the desk and try to find something, but Popify might be well knowing. He might swing right, he might find it just in time, but all down to the small things, but no sound might confuse Popify. He might not even check there. He might aim like leg level, expecting a crouch play. You are going to find the down, you're going to find what should be hopefully the kill, but if you're going to get it, you're going to have to get it from anywhere else, as you're not going to find it by just playing outside. You have to run in and face the unknown. As Squirtle is found, Tactical is down. You need this kill to be found from ITQC. He's your all or nothing. He is everything in this round. If he gets this kill, he can peel off. He can be everything, but instead he whiffs, and this makes it a lot riskier of a round, as a cutoff could be held. Instead, the swing comes out, and it's a 1v3. ITQC with the world on his shoulders, trying to do something generational, trying to finally show wrong. Show the team does have weakness, but it's probably not going to come today, as Popify finishes at a 7-5, and the team that seems unstoppable will not lose that overtime. They'll never go to it, and instead we're going to go to what is not a map 3 and will not be a map break, as you do have, finally, my other guy coming in. Nikes, my voice is killing me. Why did everyone just leave? Yo, what? All right, so we're all just leaving. Gotcha. That was on normal servers too. I gotta check chat. Oh, let's see here. SSL chat, so I'm hearing it right. What'll probably be 5 minutes and possibly more, depending on these teams, and hopefully we get in earlier, but my doubts are a little large, I'll give you that. I'm supposed to have a dude come in, but it might not matter because he might not even show up. Or I can at least do... You have what should be that time, hopefully correct in the map intro, but might not matter if you don't have an analyst. I might start it early. This might be an issue. Hey, there we are. Okay.
There we are.
Opinions on the first 2 maps. I'll let you take it away.
First map was pure dominance. That's what I said was going to happen. That's what we expected was going to happen. Map 2, I honestly had a lot of faith in Redemption bringing it back, making it close, winning a second map, and making it 1-1. They played good. 907 starting to heat up, but Chalet was kind of concerning. You expect after such a dominating win on Night Haven for them to go to Chalet and still play efficiently, make it to the point where it seems unfathomable for Redemption to win, and that's not what happened. Redemption was winning rounds, they were close the entire game, and that's just not what I was expecting statistically. But at the same time, Redemption is 2-0 on that map, now 2-1, sadly. But I think a lot of the key points, if Redemption wants to win this, they have to start chaining more rounds together. Last game was decent, but at the same time, it was tied up the entire time. You look at Labs whenever 907 won. They had such a massive lead. Faith was not in the picture for Redemption. You look at that game right there, 907 didn't have the opportunity to be like, okay, we're getting beat this badly. There's a chance we lose this. The entire time it was even. It was 1-on-1 the entire game. But I think Redemption has to have some faith. They have to continue to play. They have to have more faith in what they're doing to begin with. And there's a chance they could pull a map out.
I mean, if you are a Redemption fan, that is what you hope for. You hope for just a little bit more time in a game, but this just doesn't look strong so far. It doesn't look like the same team that dominated their way to semis, and I don't know. I think that there's always that chance that we do see a 3-0, we do see a dominant win, and what's next for them? I think
it is something you see. It is something you see, and it sucks to see as a fan, like someone who's watching it. You don't want to see something like that, but at the same time, it's not unbelievable.
I mean, yeah, I think that coming to this game, there's a reason they were big underdogs. There was a reason that the numbers were how they were. There's only so much you can really think is going to change. There's only so much an underdog can do, and we'll see. I think the limits are going to be pushed of how much this team has left in them.
I feel like if they stay in it, they stay level-headed for this third map, there's a chance they pull it out. I know Cafe 907 has done decent on. I know Redemption did pretty good last time they played Cafe. Obviously, they recently won it. But it comes down to faith. They have to have the faith that they can win.
That is something we want to look for, and it's a scary, scary thought. If you're a player, if you are, you hope for the best, but there's a lot that can go wrong here if you are Redemption. You're now on your do or die, and that's scary.
I think that's the biggest problem is the fact that they are on that do or die. They know that if they lose this map, the game's over.
That'll be all for tonight, or not for tonight. That'll be all for this little break before we go right back to Cafe. And we're back. We do have one less analyst on the side, and sad times is hopefully we see him in that final map, or what should be a post map 4 heading into map 5, but it's looking iffy. There's a lot that could go wrong here. You might have a chance, but it looks iffy is what I'll say. I don't know. This the scary thing here is what's next? We will certainly see, though. Okay, so excuse me. Madden Wise Synergy, the team that I was shitting on, I cast for them. They just won against Obey. 5-5 and then a forfeit. Huh? Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, so Obey are not making finals. This is actually kind of an issue now. Okay.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Well, yeah, there's genuinely a chance. I'm so confused because I'm trying to read it while paying attention to the game, but there's a genuine chance that Obey loses because they called forfeit. I'm more confused than now. I don't know.
Remaining.
I read that now. I think I'm more confused. What? Yeah, so when in doubt, my eyeballs feel like I'm witnessing history. Damn, okay, so that makes sense. They time torch for an hour straight, but like, damn. And they're yeah, I don't... Obey could have had it, and then they time torch for an hour straight, because, I don't know, we can't not do something like this. Whatever, I'm not dealing with all that. Instead, we're going to focus on this game, because I know they didn't forfeit because of synergy. I'm just... I don't know, man. This is some weird-ass times. They lost to infighting is crazy. I mean, a 5-5 against Obey is actually kind of interesting. I'm a little surprised I ended at that, but either way, you got at least what should be a sneaky fast plant here, and Popify, Squirtle, everyone's finding some picks here, and when I doubt that Legion Shotgun feels like it's always going to be an issue. Maybe not the same person, as in this time it's on the knock, but it won't matter when there's a shotgun in hand. Instead, Popify says, screw that notion. I can beat the shotgun, and this is where it starts to get iffy, is you have Aurora, you have a post plant that isn't really easy to win, and you have no Yings, which does suck, but you have flashes galore. And that is the big thing to look forward to. You also got to see what is the plan here for 907. They could try to go for a run out, but that isn't likely to work. You do see at least Cody find one. Everyone's on the window. They're trying to find their way into it, but you don't want to swing it. You don't want to even have to try to fight it. This makes it a 2v1 with 8 seconds left. You do at least see the redemption. Find it. They find that first one once again, and yeah, I'm not... I want to see... I don't know. Mid-game? How do you even... that seems... I don't know. Yeah, I'm just not even gonna... How do you fall asleep mid-game? Huh? Sin torch an hour? I'm so confused at this point. I'm still confused how... Whatever. This is not my...
Defenders, protect your bombs.
I'm an admin for like 2 leagues, and I'm doing that for a reason. Also, mostly because I want to be able to solve petty disputes between teams in the middle of casting. But like, how do you time torch an hour and then fall asleep mid-game? I get that Obey is a unique team, and I'm very willing to that. Like, they're genuinely a weird team compared to most. Not like a bad thing. That's just how they run. They run different. I don't know. But they run different than most teams. They're like, really? I don't... How do you fall asleep mid-game? Maybe I'm just like, did he? I don't know. I would not assume Andy would actually. That does fit. That dude doesn't. That dude does not touch Discord unless I'm waving money in front of his face, and even then, I was trying to get him on a podcast episode and he wouldn't even respond. I would pay the dude too. Sad times. Whatever. Not my place. So certainly unfortunate for Obeys. This actually does look kind of bad at this point. They lose out on champion playoffs because they forfeited. They lose out on Obeys or on SSL playoffs because they were lazy. I'm just saying. They don't look as good as you'd hope. I go back to the game. Back to what is actually going on. As much as I'm talking about other games, we still have a finals right in front of our faces, and that is very important. To be entirely fair, this is actually the greatest time, I think, if you're a console fan, though, for League. You get, or at least for if you enjoy watching me cast, I'm going to be casting like 45 hours in the next 2 weeks. D1 playoffs today. D1 playoffs next week. D2 playoffs on tomorrow for champions. And then I'm doing an entire marathon of role arrival drafts. Good lord. Anybody should try. Golf comment. I don't think I have the patience for. I don't think I have the patience for golf, honestly. And knocked fully whips, but he gets the kill anyway. So, been playing with what you have, but you still got it in the very end. And now you got to deal with one very, very big pain in the ass, which is Bucks to be entirely fair. Might be 5 HP, but you can still normally cause issues. Instead, Tactical finds it, and now you have one very, very big question mark. Is you have the advantage, but you still have a lot you got to do if you are on the side of Redemption. A post plant against 907 is never easy for that matter. They're one of the best post plant teams when you get there. I don't know. All the odds don't point to this being an easy post plant or even a winnable one, but it feels like 907 are kind of off their game right now. Maybe it's just a play. I think this map is certainly not one of their strongest, but it just looks different. And in a 4v1, it feels that my thoughts are being confirmed as knock finishes, and it feels like we're finally seeing the reason that this map is 5-0 for Redemption. Yes, NHL was the strong map for the side of 907. That is one of their best maps. They're 5-0. They beat the best teams on it. Now you're going into Redemption's best map. They're 5-0, same record. This is their same thing. And this is where I think there's a small sample size if you're a 907. But to be entirely fair, your best player for this map is Quex. He had a 3 KD. Just 3 flat. So, you know, always an option. Squirtle has a 12-6 over many, many games. Out of those 5, 12-6, so 2 KD and average is +4 on entry, which that just looks wrong. Yeah, I don't think I look at +4 on entry, and I think that makes sense. I feel like I'm making apparently special too. A statistical error. But no, he genuinely is +4 on entry on Cafe, which is, to be entirely fair, I think one of the best stats for one player on a map, besides like, I think Quex is like, I think plus like 22 or something. Like career 22 on NHL. So. Oh, well, the map's not updated? Oh, it's not updated. That's on me. Thank you. I low-key didn't even notice. I'm not going to cap. 3-2 gets score. Oh, it did go hidden. I don't know why I did that, actually. Whatever. Back to the actual game now. Alright. Drake, silence, bro. I'm gonna diddle you. No cap. You are, in fact, getting diddled, even though you're old as fuck. You're 22. Saying old as fuck is 22. R6 console competitive has one of the weirdest fan bases. Because everyone's either like in their like mid-20s or they're like 15 years old. They're either the age of Charlie Whirly right now, or they're like old as hell in like a midlife crisis. Or they're just Stretch, who's like genuinely an uncle at this point. He has stories about like, I don't know, before Hyper Series. He makes me feel old, and I'm 16. I don't even know what I'm saying I'm old like. He's just old. He makes everyone feel old. Stretch is old. He's like an elder. Map 2 went the way of 907, 75. It should be updated eventually, because I don't know, it's weird. 180, 180-second delay does make it a little funky to work with, but you're still getting what you need done eventually. I am reading your chats. It's just that there's a massive fucking delay. And odd body goes down, and tactical does find the first. Not generally his forte. He is definitely not an entry player, but hey, take what you can get, even if it's certainly a confusing pick. Woulda there with at least one pick to make sure it stays close. And then Cody says, what about close? Yeah, that's not happening. Making sure that large advantage stays. And now you do have Quex and Vux alive, where I think Vux really, yeah, 7-5 for 907. Yeah. You know, check the dots and then the map scores, then it'll make sense. It's a little weird, but it's kind of intuitive. Thank you. Is that Silo? Damn, okay. I honestly forgot you existed. No, wait. Oh, wait. Ain't my fault there's like 400 bajillion different console league players. I'm not hating. Oh no, Drake's a friend. He's just doing a shit talk. I'm sorry, what? Quex, Vux, ITQC, everyone finds a bit of a picks, and it's not 1v1 of the knocked in Quex. You have the SMB12 Warriors coming and duking it out. Hey, we do have something a little bit more unique for once. Because who needs a primary gun, folks? You know what you need in life? An SMD12. That's right, SMD12. Now with 10 seconds left, the issue is you can kind of just delay time, but what's delaying? Quex just says swing with the SMD12. No hit on Quex, but to be entirely fair, I'm pretty sure that is how his brain works. It's just swing with large, fast gun. Yeah, I don't think he does anything else in life. Yeah, don't worry. Drake got it. He chill. Diddy Drake. The Diddler. P. Diddy. Love. Maybe like some Little Young. Wait, no. Wait. Yeah, no, that's Drake. Wait. Yeah, no, that's Drake. I had to rethink about that. Warden IQ. So, listen. Maybe 907 are listening. Maybe they're watching. You know, you use your bans against ops that are hard to deal with, right? Hard. Not fucking IQ. There's just a bit of a learner curve. I know it's hard to know. It's a genuinely hard strategy, but you don't ban the IQ, folks. You ban the I don't know, Ace, Habana, Yang, literally anything but an IQ. We're in grand finals and we're banning an op that is genuinely kind of average at best. Like, I get Valkyrie's good, yes. You're banning the entirety of an IQ op just for the Valkyrie. One, you're not playing Valkyrie that much, and two, you're not playing it that aggressively. That's not your make or break, but God forbid, I guess it is. I don't know. I'm no hater, just mentally confused. Maybe they have some mental gymnastics they pull to consider an IQ ban. I'm just saying, it's certainly up there for one of the weirder picks. Am I listening to Ghost Town? I am.
10 seconds to go.
I was mad confused at those lyrics for a half. What the fuck is that smell?
Attackers are moving.
I can't tell if it's like canes or it's like, I don't know, it's something fast food related, and I'm concerned. Anyways, back to the actual game that is supposed to be being played, and 907 finally got around for. I mean, the start is looking good, but like, you also need to, for once, not see a 4-2 half. Like, if we see a 4-2 half, I'm just gonna start calling the funeral plays for the entirety of Redemption. But if you do get a half that is finally 3-3 or God forbid 4-2 the other way around, good for you. There's some genuine life in this team. Otherwise, maybe not so much. Maybe call the retirement home and I don't know, pick up a player that isn't bad. No. What? This is insane. I've seen, well, so it's, I've had to do the numbers. I think I've genuinely encountered a game going 7-5 like 12 different times today. It's concerning. 907 needs to learn that 7-5 is not a bad omen. I want to see overtime, please. Not same 7-5. Hey, but Noct finds one, Squirtle with another, and you might find utility with one player, but once again, it feels like the Ash is kind of inconsistent with Squirtle. Unironically, he feels like he's better on an annoying shotgun half the time. Maybe that's because he knows what he's doing, but he's genuinely one of the best shotgun players. I feel like it's kind of ridiculous to have him on anything else but a shotgun. And Noct finds Dark. I think a player that has taken a bit of a step back from what was a generational performance from him. It doesn't generally play that good, but he played insane. And he had a pretty good first 2 maps, but I think on a map that's much more centered in the way of Redemption's advantage, maybe not so much safe. I think that the big thing is that they know how to play this better. They know how to clear players. It feels that they know that roam clear and progression so much better right now than 907. He don't play it a lot. This is their one big advantage they finally have, and this is, I think, their big break. Hey, but as I say that, Vux, Popify, and ITQC all find picks, brings the advantage back down to, as I say that, Noct with another, because God forbid I make comms that are correct by the time I say them. Quex in a 1v3 with what looks to be less than like 10 health, so miracles do happen, but not when you have everything closing in on you, and you do finish. Redemption, for once, guys, it's generational. Redemption is not going to have a 4-2 half. Shocks across the world. I know, right? Like a genuine shock from the world is, for once, holy oh my God. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that. Did he update him? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the other awards.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Anyways, back to what is actually the game and what has been a relatively, I think, stat-odd game. Squirtle is 2-0 on entry, so finally he's playing the role that, you know, he actually plays. But everyone else is kind of playing a little bit more of a relaxed role, I guess is the best way to put it. Not really what you'd expect from, I think, a team, but run it slow, run it consistent. And to be Typher, this is more what you expect. Redemption does tend to slow down on Cafe just because they like their clearing pretty consistently and clearing, you know, well. And that takes more time, so not a big surprise, but only, I think, big surprise is the entries right now are bad. There is nothing right now going the way of 907 in terms of entries. And this is a good reason, is this is Squirtle's best map, by far. He's down on the entries. We can see players like I2QC, players like Noct, have these step-up moments where, since the entries is kind of being alleviated from them, they can do their own thing. Maybe they go aggressive, but that pressure of worrying about entries, worrying about finding that first pick, feels a little bit alleviated. Now you're chill as a team. That matters more than you'd think. A lot more than you'd think. A lot of times, most of these games are just really big mental warfare. Games of mental warfare, man. Cody seems to be doing his Flores impression of let's destroy shit, but with limited success so far. I think everyone's kind of just getting in that position where they're hoping for that one thing. They're hoping to find that one piece of utility, but generally you're probably going to see this end in a situation where 907 is good at shooting drones. You might get a couple of the pieces, but you're going to have to deal with this zombie, and it's going to be a pain in the ass. You're going to have to deal with most of the barbed wire, most of these echoes, and you're not going to get them with a Twitch or a Flores. It's an unfortunate reality, and you kind of just got to work with it. However, if you can somehow find, you know, some type of dark here, that'd be a huge thing to find. If you find dark somehow, off of a cross, off of a good angle, that would be amazing. But damage on the Buddha is just as good, I suppose, as you're getting some work done. You're getting some of the clock shootout if you are 907, but it feels that the pressure is still reliable enough that this isn't a big loss so far. It feels that this round is still very much within the grasp of Redemption as long as they get a pick sooner or later here. If we go, you know, 45 seconds in and there's no pick, well, if you like, you know, crazy 30-second rounds of mass panic, that is what it's going to end in, because we're not ending. If we don't have a pick in the next 25 seconds, this is going to be a mass panic of everyone's throwing flashes, utility, and all the galore at the same time, which might be a good thing for you, might be really bad. Up to the player. No joke to be called. It feels like everything's starting to close in. Maybe a little bit slower, but Squirtle with the shotgun back in hand, and they know what the plan is. He knows what the plan is. Run that ass up main. Because what else would you do if you're Nook? I think he's just kind of waiting for that moment. He has tactical watching it. Vux does find the first, which is a little bit more unfortunate, but you do see Squirtle go down. That's a much bigger pick, because suddenly you do lose that much needed player, and Popify gets one. ITQC finds some damage on the Vux and Quex, but it won't matter here as Buddha finds two on a bit of an oddball for him, but right place, right time means quite a bit sometimes. And get your numbers, you get what you need, and maybe, just maybe, you have a chance for a 3-3 half. Either way, though, this is a much better half. This is finally a half that looks good. Because it has not been pretty so far. Oh yeah, sorry. I'll do them. I'll do them right now. Screw it. Okay, let's go through as we're waiting for this prep phase and everything. The final awards that came out finally. Best rep, Buddha from 907, which fits. Let's be entirely honest. Undefeated is kind of an unthing. Undefeated and winning 2-0 in finals. You're the best rep for a reason. Pickles Vanguard, so best player to have 3 seasons in the league. So sort of like the Unk is DCAG by I think a pretty large margin this year. X9 Distinction, so the best rookie is Tactics from Alchemist. I think this rookie class is a little bit weaker than usual, but still not a bad one. Last year was Nike from Obey, so certainly step down from that, but not a bad one. Best Director. I probably would have been in the running if I didn't absolutely jump down from Director immediately after. However, Best Director will go to Dry. Best Caster, I haven't got to say it. I mean, I casted literally 80% of the games, and that's not even a joke. That's not even a euphemism. I casted literally 85% of the games. I've casted like 33 games in total for this league. That's the most by literally any margin ever. No one has ever casted that much. I'm gonna win it. And then the final, more or less yapper of the entirety of the league is Charlie Whirley, to no one's surprise. There's only so many times he's going to at me, Sprays, or someone random and just say, fuck you, before he's just considered for that ward immediately. And Buddha does fine. Bit of an oddball pick, but you get your numbers that even, so take what you can get, I guess. Just more question where it came from. Always got a question you can find, and maybe, just maybe, there's a chance you can find something real. Find something maybe better than, doing a 4v4. I mean, to be entirely fair, 907 is not a bad 4v4 team, but unironically, they win more 4v3s than they do 4v4s. Like, straight up numbers-wise, they win less when they have a 4v4. Don't ask the man, but that's just what it ends in. Because apparently they suck when they have even numbers. And everything is coming towards Buddha, but it doesn't matter, because he's king, he's going to drop a double, and he's going to make that 3, excuse me, possibly even 4, as everything comes towards him. Finally, Tactical finds it, but he more or less took a guaranteed win round into... As I say that, I was going to say an advantage and then immediately give it away as Tactical just kind of walks down and gets freebies. Can we please just play smart? This is the most important game you guys have played in like a week. Or like some of you, I don't know. For 907, it's probably like a month and a half since they won Sunday, so a long time. And then Redemption is probably your most important game ever. Because, you know, you probably need to win to prove that you're actually a good team, not just beating up on bad teams. Because their path to the finals was kind of Charmin Ultrasoft, if I'm not going to cap. I like them, but the hope is not there sometimes. What the hell is going on? Anyways, back to the game, and a 2v2 is... Time does wind down, and it could look to be, I think, a little bit dark. If you're on 907, as you do have Vux Alive, who's kind of been washed, and Dark, who's looked really washed this game. There's still some hope. I think both these players have shown they can kind of step up when need be, even if they're not always the greatest. More or less Dark, I think, is the biggest player you gotta look for, because he still can be a very good person in the right place, right time sort of thing. Where, yes, he's maybe not going to dominate the game, but he can be there, he can position right. Instead, Noct holds a pretty good angle, and Redemption could have a 4-2 half finally, and for once, it's in their direction. They're not being the 2-player. But Vux might have something to say about that if he can. With 15 seconds left, it at least looks plausible for him to pull this out, but he's going to have to kind of play perfect here as a plant goes down on one side, is knocked with the other, and for once, Redemption don't have a losing... What in the hell is that? Huh? What is that FOV? Why were Harms, like... I don't know, like fucking Ozempic skinny, bro. Why did Dokubi start taking Ozempic mid-round? She was popping that shit, bro. What am I watching? What am I looking at? What are my eyeballs witnessing in life? The question I wish I had the answer to, but I don't have a question. I don't have an answer to any of those things. Or why Dokubi started taking Ozempic mid-game. But you do have, once again, it feels like the clash is sort of just an omen at this point. It would not be banned away. It is what it is. I mean, Clash has always been strong. She's kind of fell in this position where she's consistently pretty good. Yeah, I'm not casting D2 finals, so they don't have a caster. They're just running off of players doing it, I guess. Because maybe y'all's fault. You schedule on the same day at the same time. Schedule like noon or something, so I can like free up my time. If I can run a marathon of every single Roller Rivals draft, I can play at noon. I can cast at noon, and then actually I probably wouldn't. I don't know. Either way, my voice is gonna be gone. So post Thursday, I'm gonna be gone for like 4 days. One BO5, one BO5, and then like a 12-hour marathon casting. Yeah, no, I'm gonna take like a 5-day break, like a 4-day break. I'm keeping that, by the way. I'm sending that to Noct. He is in fact making the Amish community mad.
Use as many bombs as they can.
That's kind of funny. You know, I'm honestly just glad we're not seeing Squirtle wasn't co-casting, because there's a genuinely slight chance that I have him co-cast Champions D2 just for the funsies. And I swear to God, if I have to hear this damn 15-year-old who thinks he's a cool teenager say 6-7 when one dude goes 6-7, I'm losing. To be fair, there's an entire team name around it, and he's in that team, so like I get it, but like not really. Still screw you. I'd also prefer maybe just a little bit of fight from 907. This is the first time that there's a genuine worry in my voice. Maybe a little bit of a chance that something goes wrong. Maybe just a slight sliver of hope for a redemption, if you will. Maybe not exactly what you hope for, and maybe not at the point where you're down 2-1, but there's a chance. It would also be kind of cool if we do see a map 5, but we have a long road in between here and there. Can it happen? Yes. Will it happen? That's a good question. I'm not a psychic. But my odds are no. I do see it sometime in these next 2 maps. 907 is going to learn what winning is and come back to it. Instead of sniffing BLs for a little bit. Or Bucks can learn not be ass. That too. Because apparently being washed in playoffs is his specialty. He's the 5.2 of this team. that's my new nickname for him. If it's not Bucks, it's the 5.2 just because he sucks in playoffs. My shitty jokes are no bounds. And a little bit of, I think, parity in between this little time where you see drones and everyone actually doing something. It's just how these teams play. It's how 907 kind of functions, how Redemption kind of functions. They're both very, very fine with having these little breaks in between, but Bucks finally finds an entry, but immediately traded out by Tactical, and Popify finds Cody. He ended in the slurry of mixed kills and mixed reception of those kills, but now you're terrified is now you have everything closing in on you. Blackbeard is going to rape you. Pause. He's not doing that. Am I going to get banned on Twitch for that? I don't know. Good question. Instead, it's Dark just running through, and he's not doing that. He's diddling. Her map points are 7-5. Check the icons. It goes in order, left to right. Please. Pretty please. Or just look up in chat, because I said it like twice. Naughty boy. Ask again, and shit, I can't ban you, you have me subbed. I will not give you an emo. Yeah, about that. How about that? That's what I thought. Now, in terms of entries, it finally looks like Squirtle, well, he did look good, and then he kind of just fell off a cliff, where he's still 2-0, and we are, 4 rounds away from that, so... he started great, and then kind of went into oblivion, but he started great. We'll respect this great start. Noct is 2-2. Entries are kind of bad across the entirety of 907. Bucks is 2-1, so he's finally doing entries for once instead of Dark. Is it what you wanted in terms of numbers? No, you'd hope for more entry fights and for them to be taken maybe a little bit more successfully, but I don't know. Maybe we get to see like a +4 entry someday on finals. I'm also not rewatching all the finals to go find the old stats and like cost and shit. I love casting games, and I love listening to games and like understanding the numbers and what goes behind them. But I also still have somewhat of a life. I'm not about to watch 5 hours or 4 hours or whatever it is to figure out who the stats were for cost on like Obey last season when they kind of booty fucked 619. Am I gonna get? Is that a demonetized thing? Am I just cool? I don't know. Either I'm gonna lose like ad revenue from Twitch, and I'm just gonna like beg for dear mercy. Give me back my 7 cents, gang. You do at least see Dark, who maybe he does something, maybe not. I have some he's gonna do something. And Quex gets down to a C4. When in doubt, expect the lone C4 occasionally. And a TK, I guess, because, even in grand finals, we're still gonna see a TK somehow. Not like this is the most important game to win. Yeah, so... Yeah, we don't talk about what I said, bro. You didn't hear nothing. I need the Men in Black or memory eraser real quick. And I also need to erase from the entirety of Twitch services. Thank you. Y'all didn't hear nothing. That's what I said. Nothing. He diddied. That's more accurate. And Buddha finds first, and what is finally taking him positive is he's been kind of all over the place in terms of stats for playoffs. Some games he's dropping 15. Sometimes he's just kind of there. It feels like he's like the most oddball. Vux has been communally just... everyone knows him as being ass in playoffs now. Everyone else is kind of more unknown. We also do have quite a bit of players doing something, and Popfly does find one, hopefully making the advantage a little more doable. They have one player, make that 2, all in bathrooms, but who said Tactical can't provide a job? And he runs away from dear life from a nade, but won't matter, because... Did Dark find 2 from the nade? No, just 1, okay. You find 1 from the nade, 1 from before, and make that 3 is... Yeah, no, apparently we're not even gonna call it... Yeah, so... At this point, it feels like Dark on Blackbeard is doing what priests do to altar boys. Those bad priests. The one in New Orleans, if you know, you know. Because, yeah, chalk it. You're getting genuinely diddled by, the role player, bro. Chalk it. Now, music-wise, you gotta have music playing in the back when you're casting. Sino does it, 4 does it. But I also need to find a playlist that's actually good, because I swear to God, Did It First from Ice Spice is not fitting.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as
Who just texted me in general? We'll see. I might literally be going from this BO5 to another BO5. So, sleep, a good voice. What are those? Yeah, I'm gonna chug honey tea like again. Because to me, entirely fair. This is not like if you want to try casting, talk to me. I will genuinely introduce you to the world and try to get you into it. But like, this shit's miserable sometimes. My voice is killing me. Oh, it's new too, so I could genuinely cast like. Map 3 started, so like I might genuinely cast the span of like 7 maps in what would that be? One night? Shit. What's a voice? Yeah, that's some unheard stuff right there. Hey, listen, diddling is not bad. If you're dark, it is. If you're dark, stop diddling kids with Blackbeard. It's concerning at this point. He's good at it. He's been consistently good at it for the entirety of the time he's played Blackbeard, but like, still. There's only so much I can see one dude absolutely molest the half of the team before I get a little bit confused about what's going on behind the scenes. So hold on. New plan, guys. We suck at entry. We're not great right now. Just throw Dark in there. He'll probably just find 3 of them off of some free Blackbeard shit. And one. He does it once again. Entry does not go his way. Yeah, no, it doesn't go his way. ITQC finds one immediately after, but it goes his way. And Dark's finally pushed back by a go. Dude, can't just aggress on anyone. But Blittis says, I'll do the same thing, and Quacks, everybody finds bodies. I need to leave Tactical and Noct, who have done relatively well so far in a pretty hard situation. Yes, they're great players, and they've done good, but this is a really dire situation. And Dark, once again, can we just stop? Can we ban the shield? Is this the plan? Because, yeah, he's just dropping triples map. Can we stop something? What do we do here, folks? Do I call timeout as a spectator to save this team? Because Redemption are getting genuinely diddled. They're getting diddied by a singular shield player. I get it's hard to deal with, but like, this is ridiculous. He has like 12 kills in 3 rounds on one person. Okay, excuse me, it's 6 kills. 6 kills, 3 rounds, 1 singular operator. Stop him. Someone stop him, please. It feels concerning. I'm concerned for myself. I'm concerned for them. Hey, Dark went from being a role player to, once again, replacing Vux's role, because apparently Vux is just replaceable. He went from being Hall of Fame generational entry in regular season to your average bum, to like sprays level. He went washed because playoffs happened. Which, is that crazy? Maybe, but don't suck, and then I won't shit on you. Or just be Squirtle, I'll shit on you too. He gets it for free. Ugh, I need my glasses at this point. Hold on, what were the predictions at? Did I even do a new prediction? Or am I just tweaking again? What are the odds I didn't do a new prediction? Come on. I didn't even do a new prediction. Well, you know what's cool? We'll do who was winning map 3. And I can't even spell winning. I'm genuinely shocked at this point. 907 Redemption. Listen, it'll be up for 2 minutes because I kind of delayed that way too long, but like, vote my fiends for my gambling fiends. Can I name my subscribers that? My gambling fiends? Is that a thing? Or am I gonna get flagged by Twitch? That might be a play, guys. That might be a play. Yeah, we gotta convince them by like, can I give them more channel points or something? So they can gamble more? That fits. I want to see if I can make it that way. It's not illegal, officer. There's no money involved. Except for the $2.50 a month he pays. Or like $5 or whatever. Whatever the money is nowadays. Money. I get like $2.50 for my freaking Twitch. Or no, Prime sub, excuse me. So that's all I see. And then like a $2.87. I don't know. Something weird enough. But at this point, it feels. Oh my God, he stopped. Or no, he got banned. Excuse me. I thought he was not gonna play Blackbeard. No, it's because he molested them 3 rounds in a row, so they just said we're good. We're gonna put a stop to this for once. No one wants to take the crazy under. Everyone thinks it's gonna end here. Well, damn. Then I guess you're not getting any money because there's no one to steal money from. Cody finds 1 and. At least the numbers are looking your way for once. It took a long time coming, but as I say, that pop if I find Squirtle, and maybe, just maybe, there's a chance without the Blackbeard you can still beat the shit out of a Redemption. Is it possible? Maybe. Can we finally see an overtime or a match point for, you know, Redemption? Also maybe. Is it likely? I don't know, man. I just cast here. I ain't doing all that. Once it reaches like 10:30, 9:30, you know, for your Central Brothers, there's a level where I'm just like, I'm done. And Tactical finds apparently everything in a C4, because, you know, who needs a gun? Just throw C4s at them. Explosives are just as fine. We matter too. And a trade ends it off as Dark and ITQC trade with a Bailiff in hand. Hey, there's a round on board, and maybe, just maybe, for once, you know, Redemption can win and go to match point instead of losing the hell out of everything. 80 points is peasantry. That's crazy, 80 points. Like, little baby points. Hey, to be fair, bet on Redemption, guys. The odds are 1 to 60. You guys are getting the slate. Oh, please end this map. Gamble 907. That's not even gambling. It feels like a free bet. Maybe they finish match point and we can end here and I can go eat my food. Because I'm hungry, man.
Defenders, protect your
Or maybe I have to eat this during a match. Maybe I have to eat this during the midpoint. I don't know. Cino would never, but also I'm not Cino, so. He all fancy and stuff. Feeling like T2 and now and like Element and shit. I ain't doing all that. I'm gonna eat my my canes on stream. Some of y'all probably into that shit too. Different times. And also I like how when I lost when my passion is gone right now because I'm tired, I get more viewers. What is the possible logic in that? Is that what happens? I just got to be like Andy's term, just be nonchalant. Tight. Maybe that's the play, guys. Emotion? Nah. Nonchalantness. That will, in fact, pull the viewers. Gotcha. Gotcha. That's my new philosophy from now on. As I said, I just peeked right back down. The shit talking for myself is unreal. I mean, the others still think relatively good for 907. It's just a big question of can they function without having a black grid molest everyone? Pause. But also not really pause. It was accurate. I mean, dropping 8 kills in 2 rounds is kind of ridiculous for, you know, a lot of reasons. So if it happens, you know, if we can see some, you know, good plays from the side of Dark, even though every single shield has been taken away from him, that's good. And or the one. And Cody shoots bodies to make sure he mentally chalks the one player that's doing a 0.5. As he is actively doing less than a 0.5. Hey, I mean, I guess mental warfare is a good kind of warfare, just maybe not when you current their kind of LeBuns. I'm just saying. A point for thought. Honestly, no, if we go on a map break, I'm just gonna grab my food and bring it up here. We are not doing all that. Y'all will, in fact, wait 5.5 minutes, because I'm gonna reheat my food, bro. We're not doing none of this tomfoolery. Overall, I mean, 907 Redemption. I think this is still very winnable for 907, but they also need to, you know, get in sight, maybe find a pick here, not lose Vux to a bit of a freebie, and then just be done. Because I also want to eat, you know. Am I wanting 907 to win, even though I'm a caster? Yes, yes, I am. It's just because I want to eat, though. It's not because I like either team. Either other team. Both of them are teams, is what I'm saying. Yeah. We're not about to hate on one kid. Also, I'm a little bit surprised that viewers fluctuate so wildly. I can't even speak. Shots fired and nothing is hit, except Cody kind of tapping Dark, but you kind of hope for a kill. I mean, a 5v4 isn't bad, so you can kind of hold this for as long as you please, but on the other hand, you really want to have a 5v4, I think that a 5v3 against, you know, 907. At this point, yes, this is where you all run away. This is where you hide in sight and tuck in corners, and you can very well have yourselves a match point for once. And Grex just entirely let the person walk by. You know, live and learn. Or in some cases, live and kind of be stupid. Now, tactical. One man for the job that can kind of be a bit of a Swiss Army knife if they go his way. There's an off chance they just don't do anything with him and instead Nox finds Popify. Now you're left, 2 players left, and 907 don't really have a chance here. And for once, there is history being made, guys. Generational history. 907 actually looks like they might lose something. I know, shocking. Unless they clutched up in overtime, in which case, that's kind of sad. Because, hey, the one map that Redemption is 5-0 on, they actually win. So, you know? Yeah. And someone left. Who left, folks? Over under. Who do we have leaving? Quacks. I did not have him leaving. He's like 7 ping half the time. So, could I pause? Yes. I'm going to do anything more? Also, no. Do I go grab him? Do I go speedrun and grab my food mid pause? Probably not, because these kids have sweaty internet, so they're probably just gonna like get back in like 7 seconds. I don't think I have time to do all that. Pretty please tell me did his thing crash so I can... man. Not so likely. Thought I could have a chance of actually getting my food. Instead, no food, just sadness. Well, momentary sadness. Because I'm not gonna cap. I'm a little hungry, gang. I'm a little hungry. It's getting to me in my head. Redemption might bring it back, because if they do, I am in fact extending the ad break to 5 minutes 50 seconds, running ads so you guys don't have ads mid game, and then I'm gonna go eat because I'm going to go in fact reheat my food, eat it mid cast because damn it, I'm hungry. That shit's soggy as hell now. It's Canes and it's soggy. Sad times. Anyways, Redemption. Everything could end here, or we go to overtime and we... I'm never eating my food if that happens. If that happens, I'm pretty sure my food's just gonna be cold and sad at that point. Floppy, if you will. That's how it is.
10 seconds remaining.
You know, I'm not one to judge. I get it. You know, we all have our strategies, but...
5 seconds to insertion.
Did you just... 2 on a hatch. One,
Attackers are
not even
heading
really
out
on the
to
hatch.
defuse the
Or
bomb.
no, we just put all 4. What's the plan? They're not going to send 12 drones down the hatches. And if they do, I'm going to look like an idiot. But still, who sends 12 drones or 4 drones down hatches in total? That feels like a bit of a throw. And also, like, it'd be kind of hard to not spot the Mozzies. I'm just saying. 8 play. Who left? I swear to God, if we ever leave, I'm going to lose it. I don't care. We're already in. Well, as I said, maybe OT is likely in. I'm never eating my food. Yeah, that's just gone. My thoughts and prayers for food? Yeah, forget that. That's some tomfoolery. Because, man, I'm hungry as hell. I don't care if y'all want to start your game and finish soon. I'm hungry. Is that a crazy thing to say? Maybe. I mean, yeah, there's still someone in their favor. If Squirtle can pop off, maybe it's possible. Not can certainly do it. But instead, Quex finds one and looks a little bit less likely. You can always see some aggression to kind of bring it back. As I say, that Dark finds a 2v4, and suddenly this looks almost unwinnable. And apparently we just can't make it simple. There we go. 907, finally, instead of saying, let's lose a map, let's go to overtime instead. Because I'm never eating enough food, man. Can I just... I want to eat my food, but that's never happening. And instead we're going to do infinite overtime, so... If you like this game, yay. If you want to eat, no, you're just sad. I don't know why I paused there. It's the... What? No. Everyone's alive and well and maybe there. And we're on Central. And Buddha has 82 ping. Yeah, apparently he lives in, like, somewhere cold. I thought it's like Canada. Maybe it's Canada. Maybe it's, like, Alaska. Maybe just somewhere in the Midwest. I don't know. He lives somewhere weird. Which fits because he's kind of weird. He's good. Let's not cap. He's pretty... But Buddha's pretty damn good. And he's chill, but, like... I don't know. I feel like you have to have something unique about you if you're good at Siege. That or just be Richie, and he's kind of just like... Well, not Richie, Raid, and he's just like a normal dude in Miami.
Defenders protect your
I think.
bombs from being
Miami?
defused by attackers.
I don't know. Not my problem. I also don't really care, because... I ain't never touching Raid, bro. Maybe he doesn't hate casters, but I've heard that man is toxic as hell. Is this also coming from, like, literally everyone in tournaments ever? Yes, it feels. Which, I don't know. I also don't seem to get that much hate as a caster. Maybe it's just because we're casters, so what do you get hate on for? But, like, I don't know. I've heard some hate. Matsumitsu's chill with me, but apparently he's not chill with a lot of other people.
Left.
I don't know. Either y'all just, like, suck at keeping your cool in middle games and they hate you for that, or, I don't know, maybe you did something else wrong too. Not my place. But pretty please finish soon so I can go eat food. It's gonna be a late ass dinner. Eyes. Map 3, and we still have 2 more maps. So we could genuinely go, it's like midnight. On Central, that is. Ow. Yeah, I swear to God, if I'm at like 1:45 in the morning and this game's still going on, we're just rescheduling. I don't care. You could play the last map later. I'm not. I want to eat food. I want to enjoy my livelihood. Cino gets an easy finals when he casted. Let me do it. I'm hungry, man. I want some food. Is that big back? Maybe, maybe not. Not my problem. I mean, it is, but not really. What is this angle? Okay, so Buddha has what is the most ridiculous angle, but doesn't matter. When the Bucks finds the first, finally the entry that hasn't been entried finds an entry. Bit of a paradox, but we'll get there. Maybe you can also get, you know, close to Hey, wait, no. Hold on. He's above a 0.5 now. He's a 0.7. Well, we're approaching not being asked instead of just being remotely bad. There's a difference here, folks. Very minor one, but there's a difference. Maybe just me. And Cody's just going to say, I have Doc, so I'm just going to run through him. He's just going to Oryx dash himself through these things, more or less. Gonna lurk up one man, and maybe Dark can find quite a few here, but he's kind of in a position where he's either going to find himself a very important pick, or he's going to find himself dead very fast here. Apparently, Vux has come back into the form that he actually needs to, because, you know, they need an entry. It's like the Lakers need a center joke. Hey, make that 3, and apparently they have their entry again. As I say that, Cody finishes and make that 2 for him, because everyone's all over the place, and would hopefully finding it 2v1 and with sight now being there, it's still very possible. And he finishes, and they do approach that match point. Series point, excuse me. All right, L3, Chocolate Bro. Chocolate Bronzo. I'm not letting none of y'all cast, but we are at the very end. We are at the match point. This does mean I'm going to pick up my pace. I'm going to finally actually sound like I care, give a damn, because I do now, momentarily. If we go back to, I swear to God, if we go 7-7 again, I'm going to lose it. Because that means we got to do this all over again. In which case, I'm going to lose it. Tough times, I suppose. Tough times. I want food so badly. Yum. Maybe it's just me, but like I low-key enjoy watching casting. It'll probably be like APAC because NA casting is never on at like noon, but like you watch casting while you're eating food, peak experience. It's kind of like YouTube and YouTube. But I'm just a hard nerd, so casting is the equivalent. Honestly, YouTube isn't even that bad. Video essays, kind of peak. Y'all gotta lock in and watch the video essays. Come on now. Honestly, want to know if I put a poll up. How many of y'all are tired? I wonder. Yeah, screw. We're doing this. We're having some fun in life, baby. New poll. Boom. Start poll. There. I better see some interesting results here, folks. How many of y'all are tired? This is the important things. We don't need none of these tomfooleries. We need the important stuff. And Squirrel finds a kill with a melee? They squeeze me? I don't even... I guess lurk the way you want to lurk, but like, damn, dude. Really? A melee? In Grand Finals? At overtime match point? I mean, you get what you need done. Two of you saying nah is actually vile. Y'all are just like Batman or some shit. Some tomfoolery I see. What the God damn you. Some nocturnal ass kids here. ITQC with what should be, hopefully, I think, a bit of an all or nothing strat from Redemption, because they did this once, but maybe it'll work the second time. I mean, it did work the first time, but still. 2-4. Really? Damn, y'all are some, night bats or some shit. I don't know. Either way, we know exactly what's coming, and Vux might be in a position to stop it for once, but he finds the diffuser. This is the most important thing. Now that plant go down, he's just gonna be able to sit in the corner, and suddenly it could have been perfect, but now you are known, and you have to do a little bit of everything. As you're gonna be found by that Legion shotgun. Now in the hands of Nook, but a Knock. Sorry, I'm losing it. But in the 4v2, Redemption still have great odds here. They just got to play pretty perfect, and they can't afford to lose any bodies. Can't give any chance here. The side of 907, they can't give them that chance. They can't give them that hope that Dark wants. He wants that hope to say his team has this. He wants that chance, but if you give it to him, you run into issues. So maybe a little bit of aggressive angle held by Quacks, because I don't know. I feel like he's in a position where he could always he's always in a position to win. His positioning is peak. He knows what he's doing most of the time. It's just going to come down to these very small brass tack decisions where you cannot afford to lose anything. And running it with a Legion shotgun might very well be your thing. Win or lose, it doesn't matter, because apparently we have in Quex stays alive. The Dream stays alive, ending this in a close overtime at an 8-7. Series point sits there as a 2v2 comes your way. Quex and Dark are the last men to do it. They have 30 seconds left, and maybe this is really winnable here. The chance is still there. The chance for genuine wins here in a 3-0 sweep. The generational plays could be there, but it's a 2v1 for Dark if he wants to finish, and he's going to have to be in a perfect position. He's going to have to play this perfectly. He doesn't have the odds in his favor. He's going to have to play everything right, but it won't matter because Tactical finds him. We're going to at least go on a little bit longer than usual. Hopefully. 22 viewers, despite the fact we're on infinite overtime. This is some tomfoolery over here. This is some tomfoolery. If Cam loses, the Fuhrer? Either I read that wrong, or that's not a good person to say. That's Also, are y'all just like Mentally insane or something? Do y'all like enjoy life? I don't. Damn, man. Oh. Yeah, who's Cam? That makes sense. I had to think about that. Tomfoolery over here, as I say. Hey, Squirtle was finally 3-0. It took him 12 years on entry, but he did finally get another entry kill. Starting good and then finishing with nothing is probably not the play, but at least your numbers look good. Now you need to not lose here, because as much as I want this to go on, I do want 907 to win so I can go eat food. I'm tired. I'm hungry. And my food's kind of cold and soggy at this point. I'm sad. My food makes me sad. I'm just sad in general. But maybe it can all be solved if one team can pull this out and I can finally go to a map break. Horrendous, please. Is it begging? Maybe it is, but still. To be entirely fair, if we do see 907 win this is probably the greatest win, I think, of all time. Yes, it was close to the last map, but I think the big thing is this is supposed to be Redemption's like generational map. And I think this also matters because yes, we're seeing what is, to be entirely fair, Nox could genuinely have a chance at the BO1 record. What do they do? Did they do pro extension? Yeah, they do pro extension. I forgot. Redemption does it occasionally, but like, yeah, no one else sets up Freezer, right? It's weird. They're freaks. That's what I'm saying. I don't even have both my earbuds in because the pressure is screwing up with my ears because I expected this to go earlier, so I have not all my ear tips in. I don't know. Was it a bad idea? Probably, but yeah. Neither here nor there. But maybe it's here nor there if we can actually see the win and maybe just a slight chance for hope. But you also got to see probably an entry here from Quex. Maybe we do see Dark pull it out as he seems to be the man for the hour and easily the biggest riser of playoffs so far. ITQC has been good, but not great. But Dark has been like generational because apparently he's better in the grand finals. Which, hey, if you're better when it's hard, I guess. Sure, tough times make you better. It's like I don't even know. Football, alcohol. I don't know. Something in there. There's a lesson somewhere in there. I'm not gonna fish that out. But listen, guys, Bucks is on a chance. He's on a roll. Maybe he could find himself a 1.0 if he actually goes insane in this round. Possibility, maybe. Dark does find one. Make that two. Is Dark just the king now? Is he just the support player that's going to do his job? Rookie of the year, maybe worth it for once? Or maybe should have been Rookie of the year? Make that three, excuse me. In a flawless round, 907 look better than ever. And why are we leaving? What is with everyone leaving? Bitch, it's infinite OT. Why are we... We're leaving. It's infinite overtime, genius. What are we... Why are we leaving? It's infinite overtime. I'm gonna lose it. Like, why are we leaving, folks? Wow. God. Why are we... I feel like this shouldn't even be an issue. We ain't done yet, folks. Oh, I gotta rehost. God. This shit is miserable as fuck, man. Can we... God damn it. Well, as much as I... You know what, screw it. We're not going on a tech pause. I'm not doing all that clicking and clacking and... Well, whatever. Y'all can watch it this way, because I'm not... Does it matter what I do for rounds? I don't think it does. If I have one team winning 6 straight and the other team winning 6 straight, and then... Shut the fuck up. No, you shut the fuck up. I've done enough of this. I've had to do all this tomfoolery. It's not GG's. It's still infinite OT, genius. Like, this is grand finals. This is the only time we do infinite overtime. It should not be this hard to know. Like, at all. This is the only time we do it. This should be the simple part. Because everyone gets that it's infinite overtime, but apparently not, because now we gotta redo this. Gonna make a tweak. We still got rounds to go is the thing. Okay, okay, nope, nope, nope. Click, click. Alright. I can't even click, there we go. Stop lagging. Let me click out of my window. I'm gonna lose it. There you go. Cafe. Okay, random, blue team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Four, 5, 6, 7, 7. Whatever, we're calling that good enough. I'm gonna go in there because I'm not trying to say this. Sides are hopefully right. I am not refixing this, so it should be right. If not, I'm gonna lose it. Like, it is not GG, folks. Still a whole ass, could be very well a shit ton of rounds. Well, low-key, if y'all finish early, I wouldn't be hating. I'm kind of hungry. I still haven't eaten, so, like, that sounds kind of good. Some food, please. Come on. I need all y'all to join. Please, gang. Please, gang. Please. I'm begging of you. Hands and knees. I want to eat.
Yo, enemy team.
Bro, can y'all not leave next time? This is the only time we literally do it, bro.
Bro, be real. Why do you think any of us knew that it was infinite OT?
It's finals. When else would it be?
So, it's a
I'm so hungry, bro. I just want to eat cake.
Nope.
Bro, there's canes. There's a box of, there's a caniac combo. No coleslaw, extra toast sitting down there, bro. And I'm being withheld from it.
Tell me your Canes order?
What?
Index
Yeah,
so,
y'all.
Is anyone from the enemy team in the game chat?
Okay, who's wrong? Vux. Dude, you need to stop being a default character. You need to switch teams. After this, I'm gonna eat food. I'm
going for 30.
I swear to God, if we end this and we have to go to map 4, I'm gonna lose it. I'm never eating food, bro. I'm just gonna go hungry, malnourished.
Well, unfortunately, we're going map 4, but we're going to like.
I'm praying respectfully. I'm praying for y'all's downfall. I wanna eat, bro.
We're gonna win this game 12 to 10.
If we get to 24, if we get to 23 rounds, I'm gonna die. I'm just straight dying on the. I'm dying on the ground.
I'm gonna have.
We're rescheduling the last maps. We're rescheduling the last 2 maps at that point.
Nope. You gotta wait for your Caniac combo. You gotta wait.
This is some abuse right here.
Nope.
Oh yeah, I realize I can start this. By the way, if y'all win, I don't know, something else. The sides might be wrong, but it's also not my problem. You guys got this. Wait, I can probably fix them. Oh wait, no, I fixed them. We're cool. Win, please. Not you guys. You guys just back off. We're also not renaming teams because I am not doing all that, folks. It is also not over. So if you left, you're wrong. You got bamboozled by the bum himself. This is gonna be so miserable to upload to YouTube. This shit's so large. God damn. Well, hope y'all don't like I don't know, any. You know, screw it. We're just gonna just do verbal bans. Just do verbal bans. We know what it is. No change. Clash, Mira, Valk. Okay, yeah, we're good. Nothing changes, folks. You good? I don't... Cody's just not doing shit, so I'm sorry now. Oh, fuck. Yeah, let's just do that. We're not changing the score again. This would be the like 4-3 host, and all of us are tired.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Whatever. Yeah, we're just gonna play like, remember, just now for thoughts. Orange team is 8-7. If they win this round, it's over. We're fine. I don't. Thank you. So, if we're still going, I'm gonna lose it. Listen, if we see it go to the worst case scenario is that we'd have to do another full round because one of these is screwed up. Yeah, we're fine. No one is on a bandot. We're chill. And also, the half of you that left, you got jebaited because Gotti jebaited you. In which case, you guys got some mind control or some shit. Loki, though, can we just like end it here? Pretty please, 907. You just wanna end it for me so I can breathe, live, enjoy my life, figure out how the hell I'm gonna get this sent to YouTube because you know it's 4 hours long. God, save me. I love casting, I do, and I love BO5s, I do, but it's a miserable ass combo, sometimes. But back into the game, we do have a bit of a slow start as it feels like everyone's trying to get back from that rehost and get back into the zone. Also remember, Orange Team 907, if they win this round, this is over. That's it. That's all we do. That's all, folks. Which is important to know. Yeah, no, that is essentially what it's got to happen. If 907 wins, it's over. If you got auto-modded scissor. Screw it, I'll let it through. I'm not that crazy. I'm not about auto-mod some kid and the dude that runs the league is crazy. Hey, Noct finds the first, and that should be hopefully the one of many if you are a Redemption fan. That's a lot you gotta do. Look, that tied up again with Popify. Maybe the man to save it all, but Dark, Cody, everyone finds kills, and it's kind of important here is if you win it here for 907, you're done. It's a 1v3, all down to ITQCs. He needs everything to do it. Every man, one man. The miracle run isn't ending here as 907 finally finish. Maybe one more round than necessary, but it's done. It's over, and you have yourselves your SSL champions. Despite the score, we're good. We've done it. 907 had pulled out a victory. It took a long time. It took a very long time with, I think, three maps that got closer and closer as they ended, but at the end of the day, we do see it. You do see 907 win. They win their first big championship together. The team pulls it out, and that'll be all from SSL. I'll see y'all SXL September 1st.